Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Tuesday, July 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 100. Coming up on OTB, we're live from the SEC Football Media Days, and we have several guests today. Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football, and Bobby Dodd, Coach of the Year board member, joins the show at 8 a.m. At 9:15, we talk to Peach Bowl CEO Gary Stoken, and at 9:30, Benjamin Watson of the SEC Network joins the show. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from Nashville, starts now.
Let we go.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. Day number 2 down here in Nashville. SEC Media Days, and for all you haters out there, yes, I've acquired a cowboy hat, and yes, it is potentially the best cowboy hat at SEC Media Days. I just got a compliment unbidden
16
from some
seconds.
old man, dude. That's right.
Took him
I
16
was
seconds to get to the compliment.
I was getting crap yesterday. Chat was like, you're all talk, you're this, you're that. And I'm even wearing my headphones in the most uncomfortable configuration possible simply to honor my cowboy hat promise, okay? Welcome in, though, SEC Media Days, Day 2. We also, so Mario mentioned some of the live guests we had. Jake got to sit down with Brian Kelly yesterday. I got to sit down with the 3 LSU players, so we have interviews from all of them. And then, obviously, we'll do kind of a mixture of recapping and previewing, as today you have Vandy, Georgia, Auburn, and Mississippi State coming up. Jake, what's up, man? I know for the serious crew, a long day, but always a fun day. What was the highlight of your day yesterday?
Yesterday was great. The LSU players were fantastic as well.
Awesome.
All 3 were fantastic. Brian Kelly, every time I talk to him, I'm just more impressed than the time before.
That's kind of my entire takeaway is that Brian, I just could listen to Brian Kelly do press conferences and interviews forever.
I could. I mean, just sitting down, every answer is just the right one, it feels like, you know what I'm saying? But, again, the LSU players were really, really good, and that's what you want. You want your school to send people that are obviously good people, good players, good teammates, but, you want them to represent your school well, and I thought the LSU players did fantastic. Some of the guys in the room that I was with yesterday didn't know Josh Williams' story. And so I kind of laid it out for them, and so they were highly impressed with his story, betting on himself, getting to LSU, and it was really cool. And I asked him, about wearing the number 18 yesterday, and he kind of got like choked up almost, like emotional a little bit, because like he grew up an LSU fan. And he's like talking about being a walk-on and getting to that point and like what that would mean to him. So it was a really cool day for me to get, sit down and talk with another LSU running back.
So the players are fantastic. Jaden Daniels probably best dressed of everyone yesterday, and I don't think I'm being a homer there. That was actually Aaron Murray that pointed that out to me. Jaden looked absolutely fantastic. That chain, I know, and then just clean.
With the matching bracelet.
Yeah. His shoes had really chunky shoelaces. That's all I noticed. But
a little old school.
They were the thickest. No, like new school. They were so chunky. I've never seen such chunky shoelaces. I awkwardly told him as much, and I don't know. It was weird. I probably should have pointed something else out. But whatever. They were great. I thought Brian Kelly absolutely murdered the main press conference. Like we talked about, man. Like he did. Like, okay, they asked me about Pat Fitzgerald, right? And he starts, Pat's a good fan, man. I know him, and I'm sure he does. But as a head coach, you gotta know what's going on. They try to ask about Jeremy Pruitt, and he's like, well, I know these things have to be adjudicated. I know the level of detail that goes into it, but I didn't read up on it, so I can't really comment on it beyond that. It's been adjudicated. You just can't. Like, you have some coaches that get up there and they filibuster and they're reading the too deep and they're scared of what they're going to get hit with. He's such a seasoned pro at fielding questions that you can't. And there's an honesty that I really appreciate. When he's talking about not being on, and granted, it's easier when you have, full customer satisfaction and everybody's behind you, and that's the case with Kelly right now.
Right.
But when he's asked about Georgia and Alabama, and he's very honest, said, look, that's the standard, and I think we're moving towards that standard, but we are not there yet, and that is true. Now, like we've talked about plenty, I do think LSU has a real interesting window here in year number 2 where it lines up to be really friendly a little bit earlier than it should. But I just love, it's like I went and did a hit right before the show started, and they asked me, did you learn anything from Brian Kelly yesterday? And I was like, it's weird. I don't know that anything revelatory was said, but I still loved everything he did say because it's just also clear, concise, and seemingly honest about where this team is at. Hearing him talk about Jaden Daniels, right, and what's clearly expected of him this year and where they need to improve, pushing the ball downfield, explosive plays. Like, he doesn't shy away. Imagine this, not shying away from the critiques, but being like, yeah, you're right. We need to do that better.
Yeah.
Like, more coaches need to take that. Like why won't Jimbo Fisher just say that he's giving Bobby Petrino play calling duties? He just refuses to do it, even though he is. Like, I feel like we learned that last night with a little research. Bobby Petrino's definitely going to be calling plays, but Jimbo just can't bring himself. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, the one person that said it, I don't know, might be a little too close to the sun, but because everybody else was like, yeah, I was trying to get him to say it. I was trying, because I had him yesterday, and I was kind of trying to, maybe get him to say it a little bit, and he'd say it, but then I'd be like, yeah, but what about these? Well, I'm going to be, in that situation too. So that was definitely something that was one of the storylines here at Media Day. It was something we talked about yesterday, being one of the 5 main storylines. But going back to BK, he is, very open. Hopefully we can get some sound I had with him yesterday. But Coach Neuheisel was with me, and he asked him, differences between Notre Dame and LSU and challenges and all that. And he goes into detail about Notre Dame. Like, a lot of people would give you the answer, I enjoyed my time at Notre Dame, but that's in the past. I'm at LSU now, and that would be it. But he doesn't do that. Like, he's like, no, hey, let me open it up for you. Here's the differences. Here's why I'm at LSU. Like, here's why it's a different job. And so, I really appreciate, him being open and giving you actual answers.
Yes.
And just not, giving you the coach speak.
BS coach speak. Actually, there is one thing that I think I did. There is one thing that I think I learned yesterday and that I found to be very interesting, which was his answer about how originally the LSU job didn't attract him, right? He had other offers. He had other things that he thought were more attractive. And the only reason why I find that answer to be interesting is because that goes back to Scott Woodward.
Yeah.
How do you convince a guy like Kelly who has, whatever opportunity he would have wanted, like already in a great spot in Notre Dame, has all the opportunity he would have wanted outside of that, and he's not originally attracted to you, like, how do you then convince that man that you are actually his best path forward? And that's where we get into the genius of Scott Woodward. And you saw, when we talked to Scott a couple weeks ago, it was probably my favorite interview we've ever even done on Off the Bench, just about. And even in that, you can see how that's the case. But again, that's like a very honest answer. And you just don't always get that here. And so, I thought Brian Kelly was a star yesterday. I think if you're an LSU fan, you should feel very, very good about the CEOs currently leading your program.
Yeah, you're talking about Scott, and someone was asking me yesterday, what makes him so great, and how's he, able to get all these coaches to campus? Like, because he's not afraid.
Yeah.
To make the call and to shoot for the biggest candidate possible, the outside the box, maybe you don't think you have a chance. And it's crazy. You think, well, no athletic director is like that. It's like, no, they are. They're like, oh, we couldn't get that guy. We're not going to get that guy. And that's why you heard names like Billy Napier and Mel Tucker, and Scott's just sitting there like, oh, no. I'm going to go Notre Dame's winningest coach of all time. And I'm going to bring him down to the SEC. Kim Mulkey from Baylor. We could go name for name for name. But it's not just for the name. Jay Johnson wasn't necessarily a name, but he had been to Omaha a couple of times. Like, in the baseball circles, people knew who he was. And so, someone tries to get me to, explain how great Scott Woodward is. I could talk for 35 minutes in his process and what makes him so great, because he just does things that other athletic directors, I say scared. They're not scared to do them, but they just don't think they can achieve them as far as who they can bring in.
Yeah, he definitely has that confidence. He's a master politician. He's obviously incredibly intelligent. I've never heard anybody use gestalt in casual conversation.
He had you at gestalt.
He did, dude.
He did. As soon as he said it.
It's
I
like
said, I don't know what that means, but I'm sure T-Bob does, and he's going to love
it. I did it, which I love. And then Kelly had me at adjudicate yesterday. So a match made in heaven there. Okay, he was fantastic. A lot of people talking trash about A&M in the chat, and I get it. I get it, Jake. But we did have a pretty interesting conversation at dinner last night, which is if you do the postseason autopsy of how did a team with so much talent go so awfully wrong, you can actually, when you open up the body, you can actually start to see the reasons. Obviously, Jimbo's philosophy is one of the core reasons. I mean, it's old and everything else that we talked about in the football season last year. But on top of that, a lot of teams would be ruined by playing 3 different quarterbacks and have multiple one gets hurt. And then you got to land on a true freshman. And you got a young offensive line that's maybe not super good to begin with, or they're just young and inexperienced. They deal with injuries themselves, and they have a system that is maybe not put in the best position. So, like, I guess all I'm saying is I'm not saying A&M's going to win the West, but I definitely don't think that it's going to be awful again. Like I would just there's with more injury luck, and if Connor Wegman is their consistent starter, you were talking about a team that is probably way better than they were last season. I'm just not willing to hop on they feel very volatile, but I'm not willing to hop on. I would actually bet on them being better than worse. Like, what's their over/under? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think it's 7.
I'll look it up. 7 season total. I think they win 8 games.
Yeah.
Like I would easily take that to win 8 games.
It might be 7.5, but either way, kind of same situation there. I guess the one thing, the dynamic of what the scheme is going to be, who's going to be calling the plays. Actually, like I think Petrino's going to be calling them, but how much does Jimbo interfere? How much does he suggest in the headset on crucial plays, which every head coach is going to have the ability to do so. Their defense last year was 122nd against the run. Like, you got to fix that. And you can say, well, they're young football players. Yeah, I understand that, but they're very talented football players.
Put up good overall numbers.
And they were really good, wild. Like, different, getting after the quarterback and different things, but they were awful against the run. Look, Mike Elko goes from A&M defensive coordinator to Duke head coach, and then you've got, DJ Durkin coming in, and it just the run game, when you lined up and ran it right at Texas A&M, they couldn't stop it. They got to get that fixed, certainly, before they can be a successful football team. And then also, I think they wanted Connor Wegman, to no doubt, your QB1 out of spring, and he still is their quarterback.
Oh, he hasn't done that? I thought that he had.
Well, he still is their quarterback, but they're still giving Max Johnson opportunities.
Oh, okay.
And I think some of the A&M people wanted it to be like, hey, nope, shut down. He's QB1. And maybe some of that is because you don't want Max Johnson to transfer again, and you transfer from LSU to A&M, and maybe you're trying to keep both quarterbacks happy, but that's kind of something to pay attention to. Because, look, Max won a lot of games in the SEC. So, just because he's in that conversation doesn't mean it's necessarily a negative, but that's still something they have to decide.
Okay, so then let's turn that same on LSU, because Brian Kelly had an interesting answer to Jaden Daniels where he was like, look, no, let's be clear. Daniels is clearly the starter, but he has to continue to improve. He has to continue to work hard. Nussmeier's getting better and better, and, like he has to go out and have a good camp and everything else. And, look, certainly that's very simple and true. Like, you could take that at face value, and if your guy that's supposed to be the guard goes out and doesn't play as well during camp, he should get replaced. Like, that is any position on the football field. Depth charts going into fall camp, it's just like pole position in a NASCAR race. It's not how the race is going to finish. But do you think there was a bit of keeping the backup happy gamesmanship there as well, or do you just kind of take that at face value?
I think there's a little bit of keeping your backup happy. You're talking about the LSU situation, right?
Yeah. Where he was very praiseworthy of Nuss and the improvement that he showed.
I just want to make sure. So you keep him happy, and look, he's going to be your guy. He is your guy for the next couple of years, but you tip your cap to his work. Because, Nussmeier's somebody that you watch some of the videos they put out, like he was freak of the week or whatever they call it in the weight room now. Like, he is still working hard. So you keep him, obviously, and kind of give him an attaboy every once in a while because of the work that he's done and because he didn't leave and because he stayed and he fought and he wants to be a part of this team. But also, you have this quarterback in Garrett Nussmeier that can push Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels can't rest on his laurels. Like, he can't say, I'm QB1, it's good. I can just go out there and go through the motions. Not that he would, but you have that. You have, hey, you gotta bring it every single day. We've got this other guy. He's bringing it. He's your backup. We need you to continue to push yourself, and it's a great tool to have. And there's a good relationship there, so that helps that as well. And, look, Garrett Nussmeier knows he's not the starting quarterback right now, but he is going to push himself like he is a starter quarterback. And then if you're Jaden Daniels, obviously, like, that's got to motivate you every single day. I saw it play out most of my career at LSU with Jamarcus and Matt.
Without doubt.
I mean, the same situation. I mean, Matt worked like he was going to be the starter, and it pushed Jamarcus every single time he went out there because he knew if he had, a bad stretch, you had Matt Flynn that could come in there and take over.
Yeah, and you know what? That's every position on the football field. Like, ideally, you want every position to be being pushed because that means you're guaranteed that you're getting the best. It's one of the reasons why – when I think about Alabama and then bringing in Tyler Buckner and everything that Saban said, I'm not saying that the Alabama quarterback situation is going to be great this year because I think coming out of spring it did leave a lot to be desired from what we got eyes on. But I'm also not declaring it dead. Like bringing in Buckner, Saban saying this position has to ask themselves, are we doing what we need to do? Like, that's just trying to push a room to its absolute limit and to see how good those guys can get. So I'm fascinated to see how that situation works out. Coming up next here on OTB, let's get into today. We got Vandy, UGA, the big dogs, Brock Bowers, some of the biggest star power of the day. We got Auburn, and then Rivs, the dogs, Mississippi State. Coming this afternoon, Rivs has their 1980 Road to the Sun Bowl shirt when Mississippi State beat Alabama 6-3 in an absolute barn burner. Yeah,
6-3, huh?
It's not as cool as beating Alabama 9-6, which I have a little experience in, but 6-3 is not bad nonetheless. All right, when we get back, more OTB. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com is the website. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge is right there on the Airline Highway, and they are the absolute best if you were looking for a new vehicle, a used vehicle. Maybe you just need a rent. Maybe you just need a rent for like a Disney trip or a beach trip or something. You don't put miles on your car. Cheaper per-day rental price, traditional rental companies. And when you buy from All-Star, you are part of the ecosystem, where it's just best from like the service, everything else. I love it. You will too. Great deals off of Airline Highway. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
Go rent you a Toyota today. It is still summertime, so you might have a vacation that is coming up. Maybe you're still playing sports. Maybe you still got to last into the summer baseball, volleyball, softball tournament. You got all the equipment. You don't have room in your current vehicle. It's okay. Per day rental prices, and the full fleet is always available. So no matter what you need, something bigger, something smaller, truck, van, hybrid, they've got you covered over at All-Star. You can check out all those per day rental prices and all the new vehicles at the website allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our coverage this week is also brought to you by Rev Business and Relief Windows. More from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days is coming up next on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Get 3.99% financing on select 2023 models at Corvell Toyota in Opelousas. And we also have a large selection of pre-owned inventory. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is
Join me for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're talking SEC football, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Auburn, Mississippi State. 1 to 3 weekdays, Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Have a little love on a little honeymoon. You got a little dish and you got a little spoon. A little bitty house and a little bitty yard. A little bitty dog and a little bitty car. But it's alright to be a little bitty, a little hometown or a big...
Live from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days presented by Hudco Roofing. All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
River said this was about my feet. Oh, wait, hold on. River said this was about my feet. Yeah, exactly. Not funny.
What about your feet?
No, it's all right.
Oh, to be little bitty.
I said a song about T-Bob's feet.
Yeah, I would have gone hands, but feet plays.
Get the hell out of here. Not in these canes, dude. Everybody keeps talking about how big my feet look in these cane croc things. Well, they're not crocs. They're canes.
Ooh, yeah.
Your feet, to be clear to everyone, I mean, I know what's out there.
Tell them, Rivs.
Your feet just don't photograph well.
They don't.
In real life,
I know.
Your feet look normal.
But they look so tiny in some of these iPhone photos. Is it because they're on the bottom of the screen? You know how like in an iPhone photo, if you're on the edge of the screen, you look like extra wide?
I don't know, but you know how like 0.5?
It's because your calves are so jacked, T-Bob.
That's also, I mean, look, that's also not
true.
That's not true because I mean it's like a size 12, but I have like really, really big legs.
You know how when you take a picture with like 0.5, it'll kind of like lengthen you? Maybe it's something like that.
But I get it, yeah.
I love a good 0.5
the
fisheye.
youths love 0.5.
Really?
You get low, it makes you long.
Bro, I've been doing 0.5 forever. I mean, look at me. The one thing I don't understand, I saw the TikTok thing that you were talking about yesterday, the anime thing where women are getting tips to be...
be anime, basically. Did I get in your algorithm?
No, I just think that the world's going to end, like, more than ever. Like, between that and the Sphere, we are clearly in the end times.
These girls are making, like, $4,000 a month to get on TikTok for, like, I don't know, an hour and just act like they're anime, basically.
We should almost, like, I'll show you during the break, Jake, because it's impossible.
Hard to explain.
It's impossible to explain. It's just so weird, and like, I feel so out of touch. But I do know SEC football. I guess somewhat. And today, we got Vanderbilt, Georgia, Auburn, Mississippi State. Obviously, Georgia's a big dog. Let's go ahead and knock out Vandy. Clark Lee was awesome
Whoa.
It's true, dude. It's true, dude.
You're not going to do that to the host city and
That's
to Clark
true.
Lee.
That's
Let's
true.
knock out Vanderbilt.
That's fair.
Okay?
Then sell me.
Okay, they beat Kentucky and Florida last year.
True.
Okay, they had 5 wins.
True.
I'm close to
I
bowling.
wish they would have gotten 6, dude.
Very close to bowling. Clark Lee is a Vanderbilt guy.
Yep.
He played fullback at Vanderbilt.
Yep.
Okay, he
Looks like Eric
knows.
Andre.
He's a good-looking guy, though.
He is a good
He's put together, very smart.
He's Jack.
He knows what it takes and what it looks like to be successful there, and also realizes the limitations that he has at a place like Vanderbilt, and so he realizes he can't make it something it's not. But also, they're finally, Candace Story-Lee, their athletic director, is doing a great job. They are finally building buildings in Nashville for Vanderbilt.
Really?
I mean, they hadn't touched anything since the 70s, and now they've got like a football operations building, and they're starting to, maybe do some things around the stadium for the first time
I feel like
decades.
that's almost like an SEC requirement now.
But it needs to be. You're getting a huge check.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's codified, but I imagine there's behind closed door talks that have been like, hey, man,
I hope there
the
is.
super conferences are on the way, and there needs to be a level. There needs to be like a standard, the kind of a standard of excellence throughout the college, like at least a baseline of the facilities and everything that you're bringing to bear. Because that was actually, I guess the reason why I say that, the teams that joined the Big 12, that's what they had to do. Right, like then a lot of them, that was one of the requirements. Was like you have to bring this up to speed, you have to bring this up to speed, and then you're part of the Power 5 club.
But I always think that, like, even Kirby at Georgia, like Mark Richt had some fantastic teams, really good football teams.
Yeah.
But it took Kirby getting in there.
Yes.
He was a player. He had a love, a passion, kind of understood the ins and outs of that program. And now they're the standard of college football. Now, look, I understand what I'm saying. It's Vanderbilt, so you're not going to get to that extent. But what's successful at Vanderbilt? Last year was successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
You beat Florida and Kentucky.
It's big.
It's like, that's big for you. Okay, what can you do now? Well, going bowling this year would be big. So, I mean, it's to the expectation of the school. But, again, Clark, knowing that program, knowing what it takes, knowing that he can't be Georgia or Alabama or LSU, and he's okay with that because he's been in those situations. He played for that program. As somebody, guys, you talk about somebody that loves Brian Kelly. You bring up Brian Kelly to Clark Lee. I mean, he just glows and goes on and on about him. He was his defensive coordinator when they were at Notre Dame together. But, look, I'm a big believer in Clark Lee as far as what he can do to that job, to whatever the standard is for Vanderbilt, which is you go bowling. That is a successful season.
Well, and I feel like if Vandy can handle their business out of conference, that's something to hang
That's
your
4
hat
wins
on, right?
if they can do it.
That's what I'm saying. But even like you talk about the year in and year out expectation, for a middle to lower tier SEC team, where realistically you're not going to win the SEC, beating the teams that aren't in the SEC, like that's something you can hang your hat on. So like they start with Hawaii at home, right? And then Alabama, I don't care about. But then they go to Wake Forest, they go to UNLV. Like if they can win those games, then obviously it helps like with bowling or whatever. But also it is a bit of a statement that, okay, maybe we're not one of the superpowers, but look, there's still something to being in this conference, and we're still better than a lot of these other situations. Anything else on Vandy?
Go Doors.
Yeah, go Doors. You're right. Shout out Nashville.
Anchor down?
Anchor. Was that like a James Franklin thing, or is that just a Vandy thing?
I think I saw it on a signage here.
Okay, anchor down.
Okay, all right.
Vandy boys. You got to come to Vanderbilt.
We're going to show a real SEC football fan. I'm a poor guy.
I would laugh so hard if somebody asked Clark Lee in a question doing that voice. Hey, Coach, what's going on? How's that Vanderbilt football
If anybody in this building would do it, it's you.
No chance. I get terrified by asking questions in press conference situations. I remember I asked one like a few years ago, and I was like visibly shaking.
We were sitting by each other in one of those press conferences, and it was and you were like T-Bob Hebert 1045, and I okay, he knows who you are.
No, because you're on like the SEC Network or whatever. You have to.
I know, but I'm like,
okay, so then, should we save Georgia? No, it's just whatever. So after Vandy, we got Georgia showing up, and look, you got Van Pran, you got Bowers, Lassiter. Bowers, the kind of the household name, if you will. No Carson Beck. I've talked about this on Snaps all the time. Georgia's great.
Yeah.
I don't think they're winning Natty. I bet
Aaron loved that.
I think that it's nearly impossible. Yeah, all the Georgia fans love me. I think it's, but again, just like Texas, I'm sorry that nobody else wants to tell you the truth. And the truth is, nobody wins 3 national championships in a row.
Right.
It's only been done by Minnesota pre-World War II. We don't count pre-World War II college football stats.
Nope. Did that even happen?
Again, they spent years hating Stetson Bennett, okay?
Yep.
But not only is Stetson Bennett reportedly tearing it up in Los Angeles Rams camp right now, but Stetson Bennett was unbelievable in the playoffs and in national championship games. You do not win without Stetson Bennett there.
Didn't he win MVP of every one of those games?
Yeah, all 4.
Yeah.
All 4. And Todd Monken was the offensive coordinator, was the final piece of the puzzle to push him across the finish. So you lose all this.
Yeah.
You have a schedule that doesn't challenge you, where you can sleepwalk through it. What happens when you run up against the best teams? They'll probably win the SEC. They'll probably make the playoff. But I do think there's going to be a team out there that gets them.
God, I'm not sure if we had this conversation yesterday, if it was last week or when it was, but Todd Monken going to the Ravens and not being there feels like it's just like, no big deal. And I'm like, wait a minute. Todd Monken has been a coordinator in the NFL. He's been a head coach in college. Now he's back as a coordinator in the NFL. He was, receivers coach at LSU when I was here, man. I know Todd.
I remember that, dude. Yeah, he recruited me a little bit before he went to Jacksonville, I think.
Yeah, as a receivers coach. Great coach, great dude, very smart, and he did some things offensively last year and the last couple of years that Georgia fans, I think they appreciate them, but they just assume that you can roll anybody out there and do that. And look, I know that Aaron loves his guy Bobo. I know that he does. Mike Bobo's been fired from his last 3 jobs. Mike Bobo is somebody that still wants to run 21 personnel. I love that. Clark Lee probably loves that. Mike Allstott might love that. But Georgia fans shouldn't love that.
Well, it's weird, too, because it's a bit of an on-hire from Smart because, like, Bobo Smart's boy.
I know.
And sometimes, like,
we all have
like
blind spots.
That doesn't always go well. I mean, look at – it's one of the main things I give Dabo Swinney credit for is he actually fired one of his boys to go get Garrett Riley.
Yeah.
So, again, but here's the deal. All year long, I'm going to have Georgia fans in my mentions chirping at me because they're just going to roll through the schedule.
They are.
Like, they're going to dominate. They're going to put up massive numbers. But, again, when they get punched in the mouth for the first real time, getting their first real fist fight, I'm going to be fascinated to see how that offense responds.
Because it is very difficult to do what T-Bob's talking about, to win game after game after game after game. And it's never happened to me on the college level, but, you know, in high school, we all did it, I think. Like, you mow through the regular season, you get to the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, and it's like all of a sudden you play this team in the 3rd round that's ready for you. Maybe they lost 4 games in the regular season, but they're on a run in the playoffs, and it's like, oh, man, I got to dig deep. And I haven't had to do that since last football season. And sometimes that can be very difficult. Sometimes you run out of time before you can do that. So it will be interesting to see, like, will they be tested before they get to that Tennessee game in November? Probably so. I mean, Missouri did it last year. None of us had Missouri being the team that would do it, but it did happen. There will be a game where it's close in the 4th quarter, and we'll see if they can make the plays that they have to make to win that game. They did in that game a year ago, and it's a very good team. It's a team that's breaking in a new quarterback, though, and a new coordinator. No matter who you are, that can have some growing pains.
All right, let's do this. Let's go to break, and when we get back,
I do have the Brian Kelly interview from yesterday, if you want to go that route.
Let's see. Well, let's just check on time. We're at 32 right now. We'll figure it out on the break. We're either going to play you Jaden Daniels recorded when we get back or Brian Kelly. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. When you overthink it, don't overthink it. Oh, damn it. No.
And your own joke.
I literally hit the wrong button. Damn it. You know who will never hit the wrong button? Central Plumbing, right? Only the right buttons from Central Plumbing. They've been at it for 50 years. It's not just repairs either. Like Jake says, you want a tankless water here, you want a bathroom remodel, they got your back, man. If you're a business and you need your office taken care of, right? They have the insurance, paperwork, and personnel to do so. CentralPlumbing.org, 925-8552. Shout out the Payne family, CentralPlumbing.org.
You can also, if you have an office and you want to upgrade the bathroom, the restroom, whatever you want to call it there at your business, you can certainly do that as well, because look at the homepage of the website. They've got everything ready to go. No job's going to be too big for them to handle. It's not only in emergencies, but if you're looking to upgrade at your home or business, give them a call today, 225-925-8552.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what
Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR live from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. The defending champs are here. Auburn with Hugh Freeze, Mississippi State, and Vandy. Join us from Radio Row 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days presented by Hudco Roofing. All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back, OTB, and right now it's my pleasure to be joined by QB1, Jaden Daniels. Jaden, what's up, bro? How you feeling today, man?
I'm good. Appreciate you.
What a difference a year makes, huh? For like the players, the team, for everybody, really. But what about you, man? I mean, you think about last year this time, you're in a new culture, it's a new staff, a new everything, really, quite frankly. How different does it feel here going into year two?
It feels great going into year two, knowing what to expect from everybody within the building. And really just excited to get out there and play, practice first, and then get to the season and play those games.
And quarterback, look, every position's like this to an extent, right? But quarterback's one of those positions where ultimately I feel like you want a little rope, you want a little confidence, right? Like it really helps about, okay, you're the guy, this is your team, you're our leader. You being at SEC Media Day is certainly a commentary on that. But what's it felt like entering the offseason now as the guy, basically? Like, how does that change how you approach the team and your process?
I mean, it's excited to know that you have the team backing you, the coaches backing you.
Yeah.
Going into this year, you know, you get a little bit more of a comfortable feeling, knowing that it's your team, and you know, the coaches are like, Coach Kelly is giving me the keys of like, oh, I'm the face of the organization, face of the franchise. So it's exciting knowing that. But I would just say the approach is really just keeping guys up to the standard. You know, coming in last year, I was just trying to figure out myself within the locker room. The guys trying to figure me out, and I'm trying to figure them out. But this year, you know, I think we know each other hand in hand. You know, be able to communicate with guys like Mekhi Wingo, Josh Williams, other leaders on the team. I mean, it's great being able to touch everybody in different ways, because you know how people move, you know how people react to different things, going through a whole year with them. So, I mean, it's great.
And there's so many. It's crazy too, because you now have this comfortability, like you said. You have the vote of confidence. You're the leader, and with it has just come a crazy amount of expectation. I mean, I was at SC Media Days last year, and it was kind of like, there was no idea that LSU was going to win the West, or all the questions were about like, how's Coach Kelly going to recruit? How's he going to fit in? All this stuff. So, what's it been like as a team? How are you all kind of internalizing all that? How are you processing here this quickly, suddenly being expected? Okay, no, they should be one of the powers in all of college football this year.
I would say it's really returning LSU to back where it rightfully so needs to be. Obviously, you know, we hear it, you know, social media, you're going to see stuff. You can't block out the noise as far as seeing things like that. All that matters is how we approach each and every day, and not let the outside noise start disrupting what's in the building. You know, we see obviously our goals and our expectations. You know, we want to win the national championship. We want to win the SEC. We want to win the SEC West. We want to accomplish things like that. But that doesn't matter if nobody buys into the process, or we all don't got the trust in each other, and we all not working hard to get to that point, and just keeping to that standard that we set.
What about stability, man? Because obviously your years in college have been pretty crazy. It's not, I mean, because like you started at Arizona State, but then COVID comes. That's insane. Then you transfer. We kind of touched on that. But now, second year in a row, you know, same staff, same setting, same building you're going into. How does it feel more stable for you personally than it has since you've been in college?
It has. Knowing that I got the other staff, the same staff coming back. Obviously, you know, I've been through some of the crazy times in my college career. You know, with COVID and everything like that. So, I mean, it's been great knowing that I know that the same coaches are coming back this year. I know what to expect from them, and they know what to expect from me.
Wait, so did I hear this right? I was talking to Josh. Have y'all been? Have there been like player-led practices and everything going on during the summer?
Yeah, 100%. We do that twice a week.
Okay.
So, you know, it's something that we need to get done. Obviously, you know, taking the lead to it as far as me, you know, getting those guys out there and really just working on our craft, you know, getting better each and every day. So, you know, it's fun. It's fun going out there and doing football things.
It gets a little chippy out there?
A little bit, you know. Obviously, you know, we're all competitors. You know, I'll talk trash to the D linemen sometimes, or, you know, the corners. You know, it's fun. It's competitive.
You think Mekhi could run you down?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
What was your favorite moment from last season?
I'd say my favorite moment is the drive before the overtime, Alabama going down and scoring, and obviously tying that back up with the game winner. The 2-point conversion. So, you know, just those last two drives was probably my favorite drive.
When you're going in to score in OT before the 2-point conversion, did you see Josh lay out on that block? Like, was that in your vision?
I did. I mean, obviously, I made a cut off of Mason.
Yeah.
And then I seen Josh just put the dude on on his back. And then the only thing I was worried about is me just outrunning the safety. So as soon as I got past that, I was like, I know we were scoring. And after that, the rest was history.
What about Florida State, man? You looking forward to Florida State? I mean, I know it's always a bit intimidating to start with one like that, but, like, I always find that it also kind of demands it can almost be used as like hey guys, we got to bring it every day because like there's no easy start. Like we're starting in the deep end.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Obviously, it's the first game.
Yeah.
So you're always excited for the first game, but adds even a little bit more to a bonus that we're playing such a high caliber team as Florida State. Like you said, it's going out there and really just keeping the guys focused. Like we don't have we're like you said, we're in the deep end off rip, and however we figure we practice or everything, our process, we could go out here and get beat by 30, and everybody's looking at us like, oh, LSU is overhyped. So we got to bring it each and every day, so we're prepared for those type of moments.
Do you have any personal goals? I mean, I know what your team goals are, but do you have any personal goals for this year?
My personal goal is I just want to win as many games as possible.
Yeah.
That's my main thing. I just want to go out there and leave a legacy. Obviously, with the quarterbacks after me, with Nuts and Ricky, that's what I want to do. I want to help them so when their time comes, they're better than me, and they could leave that legacy and go out there and be better than me, so I can sit back years down the road and be like, you had a better college career than me at LSU.
Hell yeah, man. Look, congratulations, Media Day. Have fun, man, and best of luck this season.
Man, thank you.
Go ahead.
That was quarterback Jaden Daniels there. Got to sit with him yesterday. Love hearing about things like the player-led practices. We can get into it more. Do you have anything that you want to add?
Again, LSU's three guys, I mean, really carried themselves incredibly well, and that was a great job by UT, Bob. I mean, great answers, the answers that you want to hear. And some people might say, well, that's what it's supposed to do. That's not always the case here.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been here for multiple years. That is not always the case. LSU's guys seem focused. They seem ready to go, and they understand kind of the task at hand that they have coming up with the expectations that they have for this season.
He just seems supremely comfortable, felt like a leader. Exactly what you want. He gave off the exact vibe that you want out of your star quarterback. When we get back, close on hour 1 of OTB. Keep it locked, friends.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our coverage this week is also brought to you by Rev Business and Relief Windows. More from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days is coming up next on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green. This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime. Come on, in Baton Rouge. I'm ready, what you put me on through. Gotta send my love down to
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird, but we can take care of it.
Get in and get better at Patient Plus.
Can have a significant impact on your future. If someone you love has been arrested for a drug crime, you need an experienced Louisiana drug crime attorney like Dana Brown and the law offices of O.C. Brown. For more information, visit them online at ocbrown.com. That's OSSIE Brown.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Join me for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're talking SEC football, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Auburn, Mississippi State. 1 to 3 weekdays, Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days presented by Hudco Roofing. All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's going on there? Welcome back, OTB. Closing in here at hour number 1. We got Tony Barnhart coming up to kick off hour 2. We still got sit-downs with Josh Williams and Kai Wingo to get to. I think if you listen to that Jaden Daniels interview and listen to anything he said yesterday, how could you not feel good about him? The player-led practice was interesting. Obviously, Burrow and company started that.
Yeah.
I know it kind of continued, but maybe not with the same spirit. But the only reason I knew about it, it was either maybe it was Josh had told me. Basically, it sounds like, and again, look at the people that they brought. The player-led leadership's in a much better spot than in the last couple of years, and it sounds like those player-led practices are popping off again, which I love hearing.
Yeah, and I hope our listeners don't kind of roll their eyes at that, because some teams talk about that. They might mention, yeah, we're doing that. But there's levels to it.
Yeah.
There's certainly levels to what it truly is, and the spirit that you have, T-Bob, like you mentioned, behind those practices and what they can do for you. And it is the legend, of Joe Burrow. What was the title? We said the summer of 10,000 catches or whatever it was. And that's what they went out there and they did. And they had a purpose, and they had a rhyme and a reason why they wanted to go out there and do that. So it is good to hear that those players are doing some of those similar things, because sometimes when you have high expectations and you know you're a talented team, you go out there, you kind of go through the motions. Even though you think you're working hard, you're not doing the things that it takes to go out there and be great.
That was, to me, one of the core themes that I saw develop with these guys yesterday, is that, first off, there's a alignment of answers. Like they clearly are all on the same page, but they did not shy away from national championship expectations.
Yeah.
They would actually go out of their way to mention championship, but then immediately to a man, they would have followed up with, but we recognize, you have to do the daily hard stuff to get there.
Yeah.
Like I don't, it's, that can be insidious, kind of pumping up your head, and sometimes you don't realize that maybe you're easing off. But if nothing else, they're at least giving lip service to the fact that, we want to win a championship, but the bottom line is we know we have to work every single day and do the hard things to get there.
Stop me if I told you this yesterday, but when I was catching up with Jaden and with BK over on the in the Sirius room, I asked them kind of, okay, because of the way last year went, it started out crazy. You had some ups, some downs, but you found like a little sweet spot. Like, did you have a moment when you found that sweet spot that you're like, okay, it's all coming together? And both of them said Tennessee game. I'm like, what? Tennessee game.
Oh, and Kelly told us that after the game.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the big disconnects. Kelly was like, look, I know you all see it one way, but, like, we actually really liked what we saw in that game.
And Jaden said, like, we saw things on film that we either did or we knew we needed to do to be great, and we could be great. And I asked BK the same question, and he said the same thing. He's like, hey, look, no, Tennessee game, I realized what it looked like, but also, like, they knew they were a long way away, and they had to do some things, and they had to grow up, and they had to do things a little bit different as far as preparing and every day, like you're talking about, the work that you put in. So I found that interesting in the fact that they both, I didn't tell one another what the other said, and they're like, no, Tennessee game was kind of that point where they knew it was going to change, and it could be like kind of a special run. I'm like, man, y'all got beat pretty good. And BK mentioned it multiple times. He's like, look, we got a butts kicked in the game. But it was cool to hear them say that moment, after a loss, after defeat, in the times when they're the toughest, that they actually saw a light at the end of the tunnel that they could run to.
It gives you a good insight into how a good coach handles that situation as well. Because, I mean, I think objectively, certainly, I think there obviously was good things on film there. But also, that's a great way to kind of keep your team's confidence after a game like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because then they went on the road to the Swamp the next week.
It's a good question. Now I'm mad that I didn't think of a question like that. Good job.
We're a team, T-Bob.
I know. All right, more OTB coming up. Kicking off with Tony Barnhart, Hour 2. Keep it locked off the bench.
10.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, check it out. DraftKings Sportsbook app. DraftKings, download it today. Right now, this week, you bet $5 on anything, get $150 in bonus bets instantly. And remember, if you're a new customer, use the promo code Baton Rouge. It's all one word. DraftKings Sportsbook app. Promo code Baton Rouge. And then next week, got a big boxing match coming up. Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford going to be battling in the ring. And guess what? You bet $5 in that fight, $150 in bonus bets instantly when you sign up with the promo code Baton Rouge. And always remember, you can ramp up your paydays with the same fight, same game parlays. So don't miss out. Okay, download DraftKings Sportsbook app today. Must be 21 or older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility, product restrictions apply. Terms sportsbook.draftkings.com/box. Terms licensing partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER 1-800-426-2537. Hour 2 next.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN. WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL-HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681, offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Tuesday, July 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 100. Coming up on OTB, Tony Barnhart joins the show up next. At 9:15, we talk to Peach Bowl CEO Gary Stokin. And at 9:30, Ben Watson of the SEC Network joins the show. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the SEC Media Days in Nashville, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert. Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back, OTB, hour number 2. And right now, it is my pleasure to be joined by the legend, Tony Barnhart, a man who has multiple Sports Writer of the Year awards, multiple Hall of Fames in his resume, very long and distinguished, the man for college football. Tony, what's going on, man? Thanks so much for taking some time here on OTB.
Well, first of all, T-Bob, it is good to be here. Talk to all my friends in Baton Rouge.
Yes, sir.
And it's good to be here. And Jacob Hester, I'm so old I covered him. But it's good to be with day 2, SEC Media Days.
Yes, sir.
And it's four coaches, 4 sets of players, and this SEC football thing's starting to catch on, guys.
I'd say it's doing okay. I'd say it's doing okay.
Did you ever think it would get to this level? I mean, obviously you've covered media days throughout the SEC for a long time, and we've been in Birmingham, we've been to Atlanta, but just the spectacle that is SEC Media Days now.
Well, my first one was 1989, which is, I can't do the math. I didn't get through freshman algebra in Georgia.
34.
But whatever that
right.
number is, and no, it never thought it would get this big. This Radio Row, I remember when there were like 5 stations on Radio Row. And so, but the interest has grown. The interest in college football has grown. And so we're here to celebrate. When I tell people what this event's all about, they think I'm kidding. I said, no, there'll be about, put them all together, about 1,000 media folks. And they said, SEC football is really a big deal. I said, yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Well, and it's wild, Tony. There's probably nobody better to ask about the perspective of kind of where it's at nowadays, because we talked about it. Everybody talks about it all the time, right? We live in a time where the literal fabric of the game, as you have known it for 100 years or whatever, is fundamentally changing, like at the most base level. And you're someone who has seen this, right? You know, what's as someone who has watched the growth and now the changes through NIL, kind of super conferences look like they're on the horizon. Where do you stand with how you feel about the direction of the game right now?
Well, I tell people, I said, look, college football, like any great institution, goes through changes, goes through adjustments. And all these people who say the sky is falling because we're never going to survive NIL or we're never going to survive the transfer portal. No, we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
But first of all, college football is so good, even we adults can't screw it up. Okay, so
that's a good point.
You can't do it. It's always. But we are going through an adjustment period.
Right.
There's going to have to be some after a lot of. Let's just put it this way. Due to a lack of leadership that we've had at the top of college athletics, we're paying that price now, and now we're trying to fix some things that other people should have fixed a long time ago. But we're going to be fine, and the game's going to be fine. We're just going through an adjustment period right now.
So the game is definitely going to be fine. It's kind of interesting, Tony. So I was thinking a lot about NIL and thinking about kind of how Mark Emmert chose to handle it, right? And kind of sitting there doing nothing. And
that's a good description.
Yeah, right. But then I reread the Justice Kavanaugh letter that he wrote to the NCAA, and it hits a little. It kind of took me aback where I'm like, is a lot of the disconnect from the fact that we had actually accepted that the traditional way of doing, we had accepted a system that arguably should have been illegal as the way to do it, and now it's more in line with what the Supreme Court would call, a legal business model, and so it feels new to us, feels different to us, feels offensive to a lot of us, but arguably it's kind of the way it always should have been.
Well, I think that's a very good point, and here's the thing. My belief, particularly in NIL, is that once the games start, nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares where the money comes from. Nobody cares about that stuff, okay? The people who care about it are the ones that have to recruit. Because this guy's given this and this guy's given this. I think there's a lot of truth to what you're saying, T-Bob, but the issue is that we should, like any rational organization, we should have had guardrails and let's all get together. Let's accept that these are going to be the standards, and we're all going to because coaches, all they want to know is just tell me what the rules are. Tell me what the rules are, and I will operate within the rules. But there are no rules. There are no rules, and that's the part that I think I'm excited that the players are finally getting what they deserve. But there needs to be, like anything, there needs to be some structure, and there is none.
They did not control the narrative.
Yeah, well,
exactly.
One of the major changes that we have seen because of all the different things that are going on right now, and you're talking about the coaches, like, hey, tell me what the rules are. I mean, there's so many moving parts to it, obviously, Tony. And when you look at these head coaches who have always been play callers, they can't do it anymore because of the time that they have to give everything else. And I was talking with Mark Stoops down in Destin earlier this year, and I was like, hey, tell me why. Tell me why, you can't be a defensive coordinator. Not that he would be. He's got a great one there in Lexington. But he goes, there's no way you could put a game plan together and give it what it needs because you would have 7 knocks on your door with 7 different things as a head coach that you have to worry about now. So we really – Lincoln Riley at USC, Norvell at Florida State, that's about the only ones that come to mind of top 10 teams that have a head coach that still calls plays.
Well, Steve Spurrier was really the last guy to do it well.
Okay?
Yeah. Because inevitably, when you're trying to do both things, something's going to suffer. And usually with coaches, what I found was time management in the game itself is what suffers.
Yeah.
There's too many things going on. So, for Jimbo to give up play calling, that was a big deal when he announced. So, and I can't wait to see how that plays out.
I tried, because Jimbo was my coordinator for 3 years, and so I was like, I'm going to throw some of the terminology out there that I know you still use, and I'm like, are you going to call plays? And he's like, well, we brought Bobby in. I said, what about if you call 35-pin Indy or 92-win? He goes,
wow,
I'm still going to be calling those plays. Probably suggesting those plays. I'm like, so I wonder how removed he's truly going to be.
Listen, guys, I watched Gus Malzahn go through this. I'm telling you, you either Bobby Petrino, either he's going to call the plays or he's not going to call the plays. And Jimbo's going to have to figure that out because when you start going, well, I'm not the play caller except in these situations or when I feel like it. And that is as we say, as my old coach would say, son, that is a source for conflict.
Man, that reminds me of Coach Miles. Coach Miles was a big, if it was me, I'd run it here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how am I supposed to take that, boss?
Coach, it's an 11-man box. Looks great, though.
Yeah, that's right. I just got a feeling that's going to work.
Okay. So you source of conflict, right? You have incredible perspective on coaches, right? And what makes it work? What makes it? You've written another book, the 19 of Green, or the 19 of Green: Football, Friendship, and Change in the Fall of 1970. What is this about here?
In the fall of 1970, I played on the first ever integrated football team in my high school in Georgia. We're from Greene County, Georgia, which is, if you get on I-20 in Atlanta.
I played Greene County back in the day.
Going back, and this is Greene County, Georgia. And, that's right.
GAC, I got eliminated by Greene County in the playoffs. They were great.
Well,
crazy fans.
First integrated team ever. We had a black school and a white school, and the schools merged. And when we came out of spring practice after the schools merged, we had 19 guys. There are 19 guys on that flyer right there. 12 white, 7 black. And we put together a team. We won our division and played Gainesville, Georgia, a big-time power up there for the region championship, and lost 13-0. But the story is not how many games we won. The story is that 52 years later, you'll see that picture up in the right-hand corner is number 11, Charles Turner, quarterback. And Charles and I are still friends 52 years later, as I am with a bunch of guys.
So it's fascinating. So you were on. How old were you on this team?
Well, let's see. That was the fall of 1970, so I was about 18 years old.
And it's just crazy because that's so you were, I guess age-wise, legally an adult and had grown up with it being this one way, and all of a sudden it's not like that. Do you remember the conflict, how y'all worked through it, what was kind of your memory of that time?
The first practice we had together, both schools, our head coach, who was also going to be the head coach of the new school, brought us all together before the guys from Shikari High, which was the African American school. He brought us together and said, guys, these young men are just like you. They've got families, and this is in the book.
Dude,
they have families that care about them. And here's the most important thing. They want to win, and we want to win. And he said, there will be no conflict.
Right.
Do you understand?
Oh, my gosh.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, sir. We understand what you're saying. We had like 2 scrapes between black players and white players in the scrimmage. They both had lasted about 30 seconds. And so, it was a unique bonding situation because it really rallied the two communities behind the team. It is remember the Titans.
That's what it called to mind. So I'm sorry, I find this fascinating. So when you're growing up then in this town during this time, previous to this, how much social interaction was there between kind of the black and white? Just none.
None. Well, the classic, I pointed out Charles Turner to you. Charles Turner and I grew up, our houses were 3 miles apart. But I never met Charles Turner until we were seniors in high school together.
What a different time,
so
dude.
But we didn't think anything about it. That's just the way it was. That's what we grew up with.
Yeah.
And it was a fascinating experience, and it did rally the town. And today I've got a charity golf tournament in Atlanta, and Charles plays in it. He's got a charity golf tournament in Athens, and he plays in it. And I play in it, and it's just we've been friends for 52 years.
I love that. So, I love the fact that you are still friends. Y'all still have that relationship because, you went through something that was this massive bonding period.
Sure.
And this, for y'all, it was a change, and that grew y'all closer together when a lot of people wanted to, try to separate, try to keep you apart. That actually grew y'all together. Now you have this 50-plus year friendship.
Well, and the book ends with homecoming last year at Greene County High School. They created a ring of honor to honor great athletes. People made a contribution, and Charles Turner was one of the first 5 people to go into the ring of honor. He was there with his 3 adult children, his 6 grandchildren, and his wife, and there's a picture of all of them together in the very back of the book. And 6 teammates turned out. There's only 15 of us still alive. 6 teammates turned out to to watch him go in.
Tony, what number are you in this photo?
I'm back in the bottom right-hand corner, number 50.
I figured. I thought that was you right there.
I played,
in the trenches.
I played offensive guard. I played tight end. I played defensive back, and played wide receiver.
Wait, you might be the only guard wide receiver combo in football history.
It was. I said I didn't play any of them. My football career can be justly described as I was small, but I compensated by being exceedingly slow. But we're excited. The book is published by the University of Georgia Press. Will be on the shelves in October. Anybody interested can go.
I can't wait to check it out, man.
It's on Amazon. You can pre-order it if it strikes your fancy. So we're very excited about it.
What was it like when you saw Remember the Titans in theaters back in the day? Then you had to be like, I mean, I lived that.
I lived it.
Wow,
Absolutely lived it. Of course, we didn't have Denzel Washington playing our head coach. But it was great.
That's fascinating. I got goosebumps. I can't wait to read this, Tony. Let's talk just real quick. This year, college football, obviously, roots in Georgia. Dogs are hot right now.
Georgia's pretty good.
Tech nowhere to be found. Is Georgia going to three-peat? Never happened. I mean, Minnesota did it like pre-World War II.
Minnesota doesn't care.
Thank you, Tony. That's what I'm trying to tell Aaron Murray, and he won't listen to me.
The Dunkel I don't know poll. Which, so it's really never been done.
Yeah.
And the reason it's never been done is there's just too many. It's hard to repeat.
Yes.
Well, first of all, it's hard to win one. Then it's really, really hard to repeat, and it's impossible to win 3 in a row. But you sit there, and first of all, you look at the talent level at Georgia. They've recruited near the top for whatever that's worth. They've done it for a long time, and they replaced a lot of good players with a lot of good players.
Yeah.
And so I look at that. I look at the fact that their schedule is not very difficult, all things considered. Got to go to Knoxville on November 18th. That has a chance to be a big game. So, yeah, to answer your question, T-Bob, Georgia absolutely has the talent to repeat a third time, a three-peat.
I mean, did it take Kirby Smart coming there? And obviously, Georgia means so much to Kirby. Played there. He knows that program inside and out. But Mark Richt is a great coach. Had so many great teams. But Kirby just unlocked something. And it felt like a sleeping giant, Tony, for so long. And if they just had this a little bit extra, kind of like Lanyap in Louisiana, if they just found a way, they could be what they are.
That was one of the toughest decisions any administration has ever had to make. Mark Richt averaged 10 wins a year.
Incredible.
For 15 years, at the University of Georgia, okay? Won a couple of SEC championships and did all those things. But, as you point out, Jacob, there was a little something missing, and that edge, and it was a moment. Listen, if Georgia had not hired Kirby Smart, today he'd be the head coach at the University of South Carolina. That deal was done. That deal was absolutely done, and it was like, last chance, Georgia, because Kirby's going here.
Yeah.
And they said, you know what? We have got to do, because this guy is special. And he's going to recruit at an exceedingly high level. We know that. 11 years with Nick Saban. Yep. Tough call to make.
And now look, Georgia's currently reaping the benefits of conquest. Money is flowing in. The purse strings are open. Buildings are being erected. It's impressive what's going on in Athens right now. We'll see, man. Looking for 3 in a row. Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart. I cannot wait to read the 19 of green, man.
Well, thanks. But before I leave you guys, I want to talk to you just a little bit about the Dodd Trophy. I'm here representing the Dodd Trophy today. It is a special presented by PNC Bank. It's a special award. It's unlike other Coach of the Year awards. In that there's an academic component. You have to have a APR of at least 980 just to get on the watch list. And it's about scholarship, leadership, integrity were the things that Coach Dodd stood for. You guys are much too young to remember Bobby Dodd, but he was a very, very special man. Just to give you an example of how special this award is, the Tulane coach,
Willie Fritz.
Willie Fritz was our winner this year, and we go to campus to present the award, and we did it. They have a nice luxury suite in their stadium. We show up on the bus, again, about 10 or 12 of us, and Willie Fritz had his entire football team in jerseys waiting there to greet us,
Yep.
and to show us around the stadium and around the thing. And so it's really, really special, and I'm really proud to have my name associated with it.
Heck yeah, man. Like I said, your resume is long and distinguished. Thank you so much for coming by today. And, yeah, Fritz is doing pretty well in Tulane.
Yep.
Building something pretty good down there.
He took a very serious look at Georgia Tech.
Right.
Very serious look at Georgia Tech.
Yes.
And ultimately decided to stay.
Heck yeah. Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart. Tony, thank you so much, man.
All right, guys.
Yes, sir. More
Thanks, Tony. Always appreciate
OTB live from SC Media Days coming up next. Keep it locked right here on 104.5 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. Our coverage this week is also brought to you by Rev Business and Relief Windows. More from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days is coming up next on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans. There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Corona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR live from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. The defending champs are here. Auburn with Hugh Freeze, Mississippi State, and Vandy. Join us from Radio Row 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Next day I chased around the playground, across the monkey bars to the merry-go-round, and Emmy Lou got caught passing me a note. Before the teacher took it, I read what she wrote. Do you love me?
Live from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days presented by Hudco Roofing, All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB, and right now, I'm with the brick wall himself. You heard Josh call him that, dude. Mekhi Wingo, the man who played over 30 more snaps than any interior defensive lineman in the country last season, bruh. Okay, I'll start here. Did you know that? Did you know that you played more snaps than any interior D lineman in the country?
I definitely knew it. my body felt it as well.
So, and now I guess there's maybe nobody better suited, though, because, look, obviously you had a great year at Mizzou, so, like, everybody knew about you coming in. But then to me, what jumped off the page outside looking in was when I saw you won that Iron Tiger Award, right? I was like, okay, this is a dude who puts in the work. Obviously, we see what ends up happening. What did that Iron Tiger Award, or really what went into the award, like, what does that mean to you, that kind of off-season strength and conditioning?
You know, honestly, coming in, like, we didn't even know that was an award that was going to be given out or even won, but you know, I just came in and didn't want to be a guy that seemed to be stepping on everyone's toes or try to, you know, be the loud leader and things like that. I just wanted to come in and, you know, prove to the team that they can trust me and, you know, that I'm a hard worker. And, you know, I would say it showed by receiving that award.
Well, and then it was the first of many awards. I mean, All-American coming down later, bro, which is, I mean, the literal highest honor that you can get in college football. What did it mean to you when you heard that you had been given that title?
You know, it meant a lot. It wasn't a thing that I just, you know, was saying, oh, I want to get this year or I'm going to do these great things. But, you know, it was an honor to win an award, and I guess it just shows the consistency, you know, and we're playing the most snaps. I'll give that up to our strength staff. You know, they had my body ready for every game, and the summer and winter workouts got me ready. So.
Well, and it's kind of crazy. I mean, so y'all, it seems like y'all approach things pretty scientifically nowadays in that regard, right? Like so how much work goes into, or like how different can your days look to get you ready to play that insane amount of snaps week in and week out?
I miss a lot. They take the data from the catapults that we use and they give that information to the coaches. So, you know, if my load is really high one week or really high one day, you know, they'll tone it down the next day and in the weight room and on the field to, you know, get us ready to be able to put the best product on the field on game day.
How does it feel to come in as a new guy, as a transfer, and then 2 years later, I mean less than 2 years, honestly, be representing LSU at media days in a year where expectations are so high?
You know, it's great. You know, I'm just happy to be here, glad that, you know, my teammates and my coaches trusted me to be here, and I'm just glad to represent the team.
Who's the hardest guy to go against on the offensive line?
Hardest guy to go against?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough question. You don't want to upset your boys, dude. I know. I get it, dude.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to. I would say Will Campbell's the hardest guy to go against. I love having battles with Will Campbell.
Hey, big country man. He's got that, you know, I mean, hey. He told me when we interviewed him in high school, and he says, I like to think I'm the swaggiest O-lineman in the country.
He's a great player.
And then the D-line group this year, though, is really interesting, right? The interior, a ton of experience, ton of depth. Some kind of new guys, some young guys around the edges. Do you feel like you've taken on a leadership role in that group?
Definitely. You know, I've become a guy that guys can come to, you know, whether it's got questions about the playbook or if you want to just come in and get some extra work in or just talk. You know, I'm here for all the guys, and I think I've definitely took over that role.
What's your favorite part about playing D-line?
Man, just being able to tee off on somebody every play. That's my favorite part, just being able to hit somebody.
So you like the violence?
Definitely.
Hell yeah, man. I feel that. As a team and as one of the leaders of the team, how do y'all feel about dealing with expectation? It seems like, especially, I mean, shoot, I'm getting old, right? It probably paid over a decade ago, but it feels like more and more nowadays y'all have processes in place to kind of help you deal with, with expectation, all the pressure that comes with being at LSU and being expected to do these things. How do you think you as a team are processing all this?
I would say it starts by blocking out the outside noise, because it only matters what we think in the building,
Sure.
how we feel about ourselves and the work we put in. Everybody can have us pick to win a national championship, but if we're in the building slacking and not putting the work in, it'll never happen. So I would say just staying focused, taking it day by day, and, just getting prepared for week one.
Are you, well, and speaking of week one, I mean, Florida State doesn't get badder than that. 2 top 10 teams, millions of people watching. When y'all are working during the summer, during the fall and everything, has that become kind of like a point of focus? Do you even talk about it? Do you lean into that game, or are you just going to kind of cross that when it gets there?
Absolutely, it's a point of focus, but not because it's this big get-back game or anything, but because it's the first game of the season.
Yeah.
That's all we're preparing for right now. We're not preparing for week 2 or week 8. We're just getting ready for the first game of the season. So that's definitely been a big emphasis.
How's it feel to be going in, because you've experienced a lot of change, obviously, right? Going from Mizzou, coming to LSU. How's it feel to have a second year where it's like, okay, now I got some stability, Matt House back. How's that kind of consistency of kind of your setting around you been?
It feels great, and I feel it's more welcoming when we have transfers. Now that we've been in the system for another year, it's not just, this is all our first year, we're figuring things out. It's easier to transition and get guys used to the standard and, what we expect out of every player.
So where do you go from here, man? I mean, I know that, obviously you're going to play even more snaps this year. I mean, hopefully not, right? Hopefully not. But, what are your goals for this season?
My goal for this season is to just help the team get to a point where everyone understands, a national championship is the standard, but we have to put the work in to get there. I don't have too many individual goals. I just want to do my part and help the team and, be that leader and help guys in any way that I can.
I'm sure that y'all you've gotten asked this plenty, but you excited to have, I know fans are excited to have the tandem of you and Mason back.
Definitely, when you lose a talent like Mason early in the season, it really hurts the team. But, he's been putting the work in. He's healthy, he's moving fast, he's looking great, and he's a player that can wreck a game on any given day. So I'm excited to have him next to me playing.
Did you feel like, so when that goes down last year, because it felt like this outside looking in, did you realize, okay, I got to do even more now. I got to step up because it felt. I don't think LSU fans knew what they had in Mekhi Wingo last year. You know what I'm saying? And so when Mason Smith goes out, it's like, oh no, because he was the guy that everybody was talking about. And then all of a sudden, week in and week out, you just in there dominating, holding down. So did you feel like, okay, I got to do even more?
I understood that I had to take a higher role when it came to the snap count with him going down. But, when it immediately happened, we had guys like B.J. Ojolari, Ali Gay to really keep us level-headed and we're going to be fine. We have to finish the game. So, it could have been a much bigger deal, but, having great leaders in the room can tone everything down. So they did a great job of that.
Hell yeah. And now you have taken on that leadership role. It's crazy to see, man. How about this? Who is the hardest to tackle running back in the room? I was just asking. Josh Williams said you're quite the run stopper. Who lays the wood? Everybody has different running style. Who lays the wood back there?
I'm going to be honest. All of our running backs are hard to tackle.
Okay.
I can't really give you one that's easier to tackle. Every time, I'm lining up and the play starting, I'm like, you better lock in. They're going to keep going.
Hell yeah, bro. Thank you, Mekhi. Enjoy today, man. It's an incredible honor. And, man, it's just been really cool to like I said, from Mizzou, All-American, most snaps, and now here at Media Days representing LSU, man. Congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Go ahead.
All right, that was Mekhi Wingo, the All-American. I was shocked to learn that yesterday. Played 30 more snaps than anybody in the country in terms of interior defensive line last season.
And graded out the highest, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
it's not like you're like, hey, grade out the highest, but he hit the bare minimum of snaps played.
That's absurd. And as you'll hear next with Josh Williams, he had very high things to say about Mingo. So keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Get Gordon and get it done. 225-888-8888. The G team getting it done in the courtroom. Also helping to get it done on the field. As, well, obviously, look, the G team has a lot of your favorite athletes on it, be it baseball, football, basketball, women's basketball. The entire team is on there. So the bottom line is they get it done on multiple fronts. If you want to see some pretty cool stuff, man, you find them on social media at Get Gordon. You can see some sit-downs with your favorite players, Harold Perkins, going to Top Golf and everything else. You're kind of getting what motivates them. Get Gordon, get it done today, 225-888-8888.
You can go to that website and you can find, cases that they've handled in the past, cases they can handle for you, past client results. You can also have a live chat with them right there on the site. So if you can't get to a phone, you can always go to that website. Always on social media at Get Gordon is the handle there. Your area code in Louisiana, followed by the 8s, 888-8888.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walk.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal.
Join me for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're talking SEC football, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Auburn, Mississippi State. 1 to 3 weekdays, Hunt Palmer Show, 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen. Pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life.
Live from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days presented by Hudco Roofing, All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. And right now, it is our pleasure to be talking to Josh Williams, one of the players chosen to come here to SEC Media Day. A story in persistence, overcoming adversity, grinding, now being rewarded for it. What's up, man? How's it feel to be here in Nashville?
Hey, man, it's a big opportunity for me. Just coming here to LSU as a walk-on and seeing all the guys that have gotten to go to Media Day over the years and to finally be picked is a big deal for me, so I'm excited.
So it's, I don't know if you're aware because, I mean, what, bro, you're like, what, 22 years old. Do you know who Jacob Hester is?
Yes.
At all? Okay.
Yes, I know who
Okay.
Jacob Hester is.
Okay, so I think Jake is your #1 fan, man. He has been singing your praises for years now, and it seems like, well, what did last year mean to you, right? Because, again, it's one of those positions where it's like you have big names coming, you have this or that, and through it all, you just continue to grind, you continue to work, and then you emerge as the guy in the backfield.
Well, you know, I just take that a testament to God for first and foremost. Secondly, I just put my head down and work, man. Just try to stay consistent each day. Just go to work and just try to do what I'm asked and do what I'm told. Never whine, never complain, never pout, and just give what I'm taking. And just to clarify, like, I never, like, when I came into LSU, it was never, like, going to be a thing where it was like, hey, you're going to end up getting a scholarship and you're going to be this, that, and the third. It was always, like, a gray area. So, like, when I came here, like, I talked to guys like Miss Jacob Hester and Coach Falk, and they told me, hey, man, it's not going to always be peaches and cream, so you're going to have to work your tail off. So I already knew coming in that I was going to have to do that. So by the time we got to my junior year last year with that emergence of the year, I already kind of had the mindset that I'm going to work regardless if I play or not. Yeah. Because that's how I had to come in anyways.
I mean, that's what you got to do, right? And then you're rewarded for what's also kind of fascinating, though, is your own personal journey has kind of mirrored that of the team, right? I mean, you had to go through some rough times individually and as a team, and now it looks like, I mean, you come in now, bro, what a difference a year makes.
It does.
I mean, last season, you know, it's just a completely different level of expectation and everything. What has it been like from the kind of team culture perspective, experiencing the last 365 days?
I would say coming in with a new coach and just having the complete culture change, it's a big deal because, you know, you're not used to it. It's a culture shock. Whenever you're just starting something new, it's different. So I would say just now kind of everybody really implementing Coach Kelly's whole process and understanding what we stand for as a team and our values and our process and what our goal is. Once we all buy into that, I feel like we've grown so much more as a team, not on the field and off the field. And I feel like that's going to be the biggest difference for us.
Do y'all have any periods in camp where you do live tackle?
Yeah, we do.
Do you run over Makai? I'm coming to you next.
Makai is a brick wall. Brick wall Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I mean, I guess there's a reason he's one of the highest graded run defenders in the entire country.
And he's very consistent. He's not even going to come off the field. So, I mean.
No. Well, and so that's what's also pretty great about this team right now. I mean, y'all remade the roster in a lot of ways, but it looks very strong in a lot of ways right now. And are you finding that kind of, and I guess, well, camp's around the corner, so you're about to know even more, but the kind of iron sharpens iron effect going on?
Oh, yes, most definitely. Just back to 2019, just seeing the intensity of practice, and not only during camp, like before the season, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Jefferson, they were, hey guys, we're having player ran practices. Everybody needs to be there. This doesn't have anything to do with the coaches. This is the players running it.
Damn.
We're doing that this year. This is the same type of leadership that we have on the team. So we can see the energy on the field when we're just out there with our guys and we're competing, and you can feel the energy out there, and it's similar to that energy that I felt 2019. So I'm excited for camp because it's the second year. It's not a new staff. It's not a new playbook, so we can know. We're more comfortable with it, and we're excited, man. We got a lot of transfers. We got a lot of dogs in the locker room, a lot of competition, a lot of chirping. So we're excited for the camp to start.
How's that work nowadays? Because you're one of the old heads at this point. So, like, when you got new cats coming in, what's the and it happens more often now than it ever happened back in the day, right? So, what's that like, dude? How do they have to earn their way in? You kind of welcome in? Like, what's that process like?
So, we're all a family. So, in my opinion, I think that we welcome everybody in, and we want everybody to do well. It's not more so like you have to earn your stripes on the field. Like, of course, you gotta earn your camaraderie and earn my respect on the field as on which you play, but over time. But we're expecting you to come in and be a dominant player because that's what you're coming to LSU to do. We're expecting you to come in and help our team win a national championship. So we're ready for you to come do that right now. So it's not.
So it doesn't seem like y'all are shying away from those expectations. Because it's crazy, because like that wouldn't have been even on the radar last year, but it's realistic this year.
It is. It's very realistic this year, and we're excited to see what will happen. I am.
What was your favorite moment from last year?
Last play of Alabama game when Jaden threw that flat route to Mason Taylor.
You know what my favorite play was? The play before when you laid out Superman style, Dennis Rodman style, came up with the down the field pancake, bro.
Oh, man.
That was badass. Real, recognize real. That's a little O-line respect, dude. Anytime you have a running back who's down and put his head in there, that was pretty sick, dude.
Thank you. That was a tough game, man. Everybody's emotions were flowing, and I was just willing to do whatever we had to do, throw my heart against the line to get that W, man. So
how do you like kicking it off with Florida State, man? I always found that when I was playing, I really enjoyed that big first matchup because it kind of like demands your focus.
It definitely does, and you also know that you're going to be playing the national stage with a lot of people eyes on you watching, so you know you have to put in the work and have the focus leading up into the game so you can be successful. Yeah, I'm excited for the Florida State game, and it's in Orlando. It's going to be nice. Sir. It's going to be a nice, fun game.
Hell yeah, Josh Williams, RB1 here at SEC Media Days, dude. Like we said, man, walk on tonight here at Media Days. That does not happen often. It's a testament to hard work. Congrats, man, and enjoy the day.
Thank you so much.
There's Josh Williams. Love getting some of the insight. You could hear him. That's where I learned about those player-led practices. It sounds like they have brought it back to a couple of years ago. And also, I mean, he just carries himself like an absolute boss. That guy's awesome. All right, when we get back, let's go ahead and wrap up hour number 2 of OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Riverlands Insurance, 225-206-1517, 225-206-1517. That is Thomas' email's cell phone number. Thomas and Megan email the father and daughter insurance combo change game. Look, everybody always wants more money, right? And, like, this is probably the easiest way that you can possibly save.
I like money. Yeah. I have some.
Yes.
I want more.
True.
Tell you all the time.
That is just a baseline human thing, right? And there's going to be no easier way to get more money than to call 225-206-1517. Have Thomas and Megan do all the shopping for you. Look at your insurance situation and get you the coverage you need while saving hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars a year. Riverlands Insurance, 225-206-1517.
And remember, it's anywhere in the state of Louisiana. It doesn't matter where you're at, where you're listening to us. He can help you out today. He can help you out actually right now. Like, you pick up the phone, you call Thomas today, he's going to answer. He's going to help you out right now. Again, 225-206-1517.
Our coverage this week is also brought to you by Rev Business and Relief Windows. More from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days is coming up next on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR live from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. The defending champs are here. Auburn with Hugh Freeze, Mississippi State, and Vandy. Join us from Radio Row 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days presented by Hudco Roofing. All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Remember, Hudco Roofing bringing you live coverage of the SEC Football Media Days all the way through Thursday. Highlights on your 104.5 ESPN's YouTube channel. Coverage also brought to you by Rev Business and Relief Windows. Huge thank you to Rev Business, Relief Windows, and Hudco for making it happen. So great to be here. It's Hudco, Rev, Relief. Shout out. I told you about Relief Windows doing a great job up at the camp up at Toledo for sure. Jake, coming up next, so we were going to do Underhill, but you know I'm reading the room here, and I want to fit in your sit down with BK yesterday. So we're going to kick off hour 3 with Brian Kelly. Then we got Gary Stogan, the Peach Bowl CEO and president, coming on after that. We got Benjamin Watson at 9:30. So it's going to be a guest-filled hour number 3. Eventually, Jake, we're going to have to talk about this running back thing. That's what we were going to get into with Nick. Have you seen the we're so deep in it, I feel like we kind of missed it, but did you see all the tweets from the running backs?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were saying with Nick. I thought you meant Saints only.
No, my bad. No, Pollard and Barkley didn't get their new contracts, and there is a revolt taking place amongst your people. It's been devalued for too long.
They have, and they're going to continue to be devalued, and I just don't know that they have any leverage.
I know. I don't know what the solution is. That's what I was just kind of texting Nick about.
The position is the position, and it's just there's so much proof now. There's guys that are special, the Frank Gores of the world, that can continue to do it. But once you get close to or around 30, man, it's just a decline for all these guys. And so these franchises don't want to put any resources into that position. And the last couple of ones that have kind of got in the bag, it's worked out for the player, but not the team.
True.
Like when you look at some of the guys that have gotten the big deals, and so it's just hard to justify. It pains me. I hate it, but there is a small window to play running back in the NFL at an elite level. You can still be a good player, but they're just not going to get paid.
The weird part is I can't really think about a parallel where it's not like the position doesn't mean anything to the team. A lot of times it means everything.
Yeah.
And fascinatingly, on lower levels of football, it means even more. I mean, you talk about high school, running back can win you a state championship. You talk about college, running back. Look at what Kenneth Walker did for Michigan State 2 years ago. So it's not like the position isn't still hugely important, but it's that unique timetable deal where the confluence of how long these first contracts go, combined with how they're capped, then combined with what you talked about, the research, what happens to get you a second contract. Yeah, it's just an awful, awful time. And I feel for these backs because you're putting your body on the line. You're doing everything you can. You're getting beat up. It's one of those physical positions on the football field, and it just feels like you're being left out to just wilt, just die.
Yeah, look at guys that feel like they're on top of the NFL and then how quickly they can fall.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell.
Dude,
he's a perfect example of being on top of the world, it felt like, and then just, misplaying his hand. He goes to the Jets, and he's out of the league, and he's on, 10-day contracts, basically. And, Leonard Fournette's still on. So many guys, I hate it, but that's just kind of the case of what's going on there. And you might have some that can outlast it, some that, like a Darren Sproles. Like Darren was very unique in the way that he could kind of take care of his body because he wasn't like an every down back, but he was so impactful in the return game on third downs, and he gave you something different. But that's the outlier. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it's a tough time for your boys. And again, I don't know what exactly the solution looks like. More OTB, though, going to be a hell of an hour 3. Brian Kelly kicking it off. Jake sat down with Brian on off campus yesterday. Was it technically off campus yesterday?
It was SEC Today.
Okay.
Yeah, it was technically SEC Today.
Either way, what time can they catch you on Sirius today?
I will be on, I believe, 1 to 4 today.
There you go, Sirius XM 84 if you want to check out Jake this afternoon. Go more OTB, hour 3, Brian Kelly next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bone.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walk.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Rev Business started small in 1935. We built our reputation by providing hometown service with Louisiana hustle. For nearly 90 years, we've expanded across our great state, through the swamps and across the Mississippi, bringing fiber optics from the capital to the North Shore and down the bayou to the coast, all to connect your business with the world. Rev is about big business technology with small business personal service, powerful solutions, unmatched local service. Rev Business.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
We're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Tuesday, July 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with the high of 100. Coming up on OTBOT, we talked to Peach Bowl CEO Gary Stokan at 9:15, and at 9:30, Benjamin Watson of the SEC Network joins the show. You can follow today's show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. OTBOT, live from the SEC Football Media Days in Nashville, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Hour number 3 of OTB starting right now, live from Radio Row. It's picking up here. See the legend walking behind us, Gary D. Shout out. I'm probably the biggest Gary Danielson fan in the room, but, you know, it's just me. I love Gary Danielson.
All right. Gary Danielson was like an all-time move over there a minute ago, though. He was getting interviewed.
Yeah.
And instead of putting the headphones on, that you're wearing if you're watching the live stream, you can see that they have this like little mic that comes in front of their face. He would not put the headphones on. He just held the mic like a handheld mic.
Yep. That would probably be better than me just constantly trying to wear this cowboy hat and moving my mic around for the last 3 hours. I somehow had it working at the beginning, and I lost it. I don't know how I had it on my head, but
really quick, I don't know if you caught this. I know we need to go to that interview. So on the side of T-Bob's cowboy hat.
Okay, relax.
No.
Great hat.
So
very tall. You're never going to see this. Oh, wow.
It says Twister on it. And I was like, oh, Twister. He's like, oh, no, I almost didn't buy it because I was like, oh, a real cowboy's going to see me and think, oh, look at that cheesy hat.
Yeah.
T-Bob, do you think that even if that wasn't there, that a real cowboy wouldn't see you wearing this and be like, look at that cheesy hat?
I think I've already gotten multiple compliments from real cowboys. So, no, I think I'm in the club. Cowbob. That's my new name. All right, look, Jake yesterday on Sirius XM 84 got to sit down with Brian Kelly. Here's what it sounded like.
First of all, at Notre Dame, we didn't have any.
You had your own media day.
Yeah, we didn't have a media day, so just being part of a conference has been different. But look, I didn't know half the roster when I was sitting here last year, and what I think was even more important, I didn't know how our team would respond in game-like situations. And so you learn so much more about your football players in terms of who they are and how they respond when you play games. And so we needed a season to figure that out. And then I needed to learn the SEC. I had never been in the SEC, so going to different venues, preparing your football team to play at those different venues, it is really different. You know, when you go and you play an Auburn team who's not having a great year and it is sold out, packed, and nobody's leaving, or you go into the swamp and you can't hear yourself. I mean, it is, for me, that preparation was needed as well. So sitting here in year 2, I've got a lot more of that knowledge, but that doesn't get you wins. It's still about execution on the field, and I think our roster's deeper. I think we have some players with experience that know what they need to do, but it's the SEC, man. Every week's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight.
Brian, you came in to the LSU job with a resume that, was, fantastic. The job you did at Notre Dame, impeccable. But you've got to please the home fans, right? You've got to figure out a way to do that. There's no better way to do that in the SEC than beating Alabama.
Yes.
That victory over Alabama, going for 2, rolling the dice right there in overtime, and having it come up, with a Yo 11 where you're cashing all the chips. That was a fabulous, fabulous way to endear yourself to the home crowd.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't last forever. You got to keep it going.
Absolutely.
But what did that game mean to the program in terms of getting the chance to get the momentum you're now enjoying?
I don't know that you feel it immediately, but you get to see it now in recruiting, where you don't have to go in and say, it's Alabama and then everybody else. You could say, look, we can compete and beat Alabama. They have done it more consistently, and they should deserve the credit for that. I haven't won a national championship, but I can show you what we are going to be able to do. So if you're going to buy from that side of the aisle, then we have a chance now when you win games like that. If you don't win those games, you don't even have that side of the argument. So I think that's helped us a little bit in the recruiting end more than anything else.
Coach, you mentioned a lot of new last year, and obviously you had a wild finish in game number 1, but after that you get it rolling. What moment did you know we've got something that could be special here going to win the SEC West? Was there a moment, though, in a game you're like, okay, with all the new, with everything going on, we've got a pretty good football team?
I thought it was probably the way they started to prepare after the Tennessee game. After getting beat soundly at home, those are really the times that you begin to learn about your football team. What kind of attitude are we going to come back with on Monday and Tuesday? And I loved the kind of resolve that they showed, that they knew that they weren't preparing well enough after, getting drubbed at home. You got to make a choice, and it's a choice of, I'm going to bear down, I'm going to get back to the practice field, and I'm going to work on the little things that we didn't get right against Tennessee. And I think that was the moment in the way they prepared that week that I said, you know what, we're going to be okay here. I don't know how many we're going to win, but we're going to be fine because we've got these guys understanding what it takes to prepare.
Brian Kelly, our guest, the head coach of the LSU Tigers, 1 year under his belt, and it was a hell of a year. He played for the SEC Championship and won the West. Got to play Georgia and Atlanta. Big expectations for year number 2. Like we mentioned earlier, you spent a lot of time at Notre Dame. I'm curious, now that you've had a year under your belt, how you would compare the jobs. I mean, they're both destinations. They're both places with massive fan bases. They're both places that people have won national championships. I know for Notre Dame, it's been a little while since '88, but it's happened. How would you compare the complexities and the differences and the nuances of both jobs?
Well, I don't think you have to wear a tie every day and the job, if you know what I mean. It's a little bit more relaxed from that perspective. And that's not good or bad, but there's a much more relaxed, because you're in the South. You're around people that are very easy to get along with. And not that they were hard to get along with, but there are rules that you have to follow in an environment like Notre Dame, and you can't cross those lines. And so there's a little bit of a difference there. I would say the biggest one, other than that small narrative that I gave you, is that I had to be on a plane, and I had to pull the best player out of California, out of Texas, out of New Jersey. I don't have to do that at LSU. The best player in the state of Louisiana, if we do a really good job recruiting him, he wants to be a Tiger.
Yep.
And that's a difference that I think more than anything else allows you to really focus on what's important within your program, and that is, state of Louisiana and player development.
We all know the importance of the quarterback position. Jaden Daniels obviously had a great year last year. There were a lot of question whether or not he'd go off to the next level and try his fare at the NFL. Garrett Nussmeier gets a chance to play in the second half of the SEC championship game and goes lights out, almost 300 yards, and then played beautifully in the bowl game. How did you talk to both of them about coming back to LSU and get it right both times?
Well, it's a really good question. And I think it has to do with, can they both see themselves during this season improving? Is the player development set up at the quarterback position such that as a Jaden Daniels, I can get better, and playing and obviously off the field from a strength and conditioning standpoint, from a knowledge standpoint, from all of the things necessary to develop the best version of yourself as a quarterback, could that happen for me? And then passing that on to Garrett and being in a situation where, you may not start, but here's our plan for player development. You're not getting just the reps with the second team. That's not going to keep you sharp. You've got to go with the first team. Our player development had to be such that he saw that and said, you know what, I am in a better position here at LSU developing, and when I'm ready and I get my chance, I'm going to make the best of it.
Coach, I want to ask you about Mekhi Wingo, because obviously when you talk LSU, you talk defensive tackle. A lot of people go to Mason Smith, and I understand why they go to Mason Smith. I mean, he's a great player. Can't wait to see how he bounces back from that injury. But Mekhi Wingo's an All-American.
Yes,
he was somebody in the portal last year that was highly rated, but nobody really talked about him. And a defensive tackle. Look, as a former fullback, I get that. Nobody wants to talk about that position, but now you're talking about having those two guys next to each other. Also, Harold Perkins right behind them, and then Omar Spates. And I know a lot of LSU fans haven't done a deep dive into Oregon State, but he was one of the better players out west last year. That's a strong middle of the defense.
It is, and so when we talk about a guy like Mekhi Wingo, what were the things that really stood out? When he stepped on our campus, he immediately made an impact in the way he worked and his attitude every day. It was such a change from what was happening at the defensive line and in that defensive lineman. He changed the culture immediately. So here's a guy that brings energy every day, and he's one of our leaders, and that's why he's here. Quite frankly, these three guys are here because of their leadership as well. The second thing is his versatility. As you know, we can move him out to the 5. He can play the 3. If we go and play straight 3 down, he can be on the nose. His versatility in college football at that position is about as unique as you get. So we have some really good players at that position. We've already talked about him. Mason is one of them. He is dominating when healthy, and we see him being healthy right now. But his versatility, Mekhi, brings a different element to the game for us.
That was Brian Kelly sitting down with Jake and Rick Neuheisel yesterday. Comes to us courtesy of College Sports Sirius XM. Great to hear Neuheisel and Kelly chop it up. Just a couple of old coaches. Also, great insight into there at the end. I loved his view of kind of what the Alabama win does. And I know he's talked about it in the past, but it is always interesting to kind of think and really think about and hear about the recruiting differences in Notre Dame versus Louisiana. Just can't imagine just having to constantly fly everywhere like he was having to do when he was up in South Bend.
I forget what the stat was, but we had it like on deck a lot last year, how many players like he had drafted that were actually from the state of Indiana while he was at Notre Dame. I mean, it was less than 5 or whatever that number might have been, and that's just not going to be the case at LSU. And I can't imagine, like you said, I mean, getting on the airplane, like nobody's from South Bend. Nobody comes back to South Bend. And now he's got a completely different viewpoint because the state of Louisiana, we all know what it is. But even if it's not Louisiana, Texas and Mississippi, bordering states, there's a lot of talent that LSU pulls from those states. And so, yeah, he's got almost like, man, this is easy.
I mean, it's yes, everything is relative, right? So even if it's crazy to think about just recruiting in general, when you've been recruiting having to fly all over the country, then all of a sudden, yes, when you can just drive, like it's not just lip service when he's talking about that. Like it is much easier and probably much more time efficient. Like Jake was, Greg says recruiting at Notre Dame is on very hard mode. I agree. Coming up next here on OTB, we got Gary Stogan, the Peach Bowl CEO and president since 1998.
I didn't realize
Peach Bowl president. He has seen the rise firsthand, ushered the rise firsthand. So we'll talk to Gary about it, as well as see if we get some free chicken biscuits or something out of him. I guess he's Peach Bowl, not technically Chick-fil-A, but I imagine he is a very good.
Look, I got to imagine they dap each other up often.
Yes, exactly. So more OTB, and then we got Benjamin Watson coming up at 8:30. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
OTB, OT. Our coverage this week is also brought to you by Rev Business and Relief Windows. More from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days is coming up next on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Here at Corval Toyota in Opelousas, we have in stock 2023 Toyota Tundras, and you can get $1,000 special edition bonus cash. $1,000 bonus cash. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
This summer, retirement is a state of mind. Whether it's a mid-morning activity or an early bird special, grab a Coors Light and chill like you're retired.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Join me for
Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're talking SEC football, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Auburn, Mississippi State. 1 to 3 weekdays, Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
A high roller, even when the chips are down. No winner over, I'd see the tables turn around.
Live from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days presented by Hudco Roofing. OTB, OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What's going on, y'all? Stogan Peach Bowl CEO and president since 1998. So ushered in, man, the real rise all the way to the New Year's Six. Also, if you're an LSU fan, you probably remember a couple legendary Peach Bowls. There's a drubbing in Miami, a drubbing at Georgia Tech. We'll get into it. Gary, what's up, man?
How you doing, guys? Great to be with you guys.
It's great to be with you, man. Okay, so actually,
Les bon ton relais.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I love Gary's energy.
I guess it was. What was it? It was 2000 when LSU came to play with Nick Saban in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. My second year.
Yeah.
We had our fan fest, and the LSU people, they got the beads on, and they're partying and everything. And so I went up to these two ladies that had all these beads and all these dressed to the nines. I said, tell me something I got to say to the LSU fans if LSU wins this game, when I'm giving the trophy out. And they said, Les bon ton relais. If you say that. And so LSU wins.
Were you sitting there in the mirror like practicing?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, no doubt.
Because, you got to get the accent down, right?
Yeah.
So I had a little Cajun accent. I get up and I get the trophy, and Saban's standing there. And I said, Les bon ton relais. The crowd, there's a little delay.
Big crowd pop.
Big crowd. They went nuts. You would have thought I gave everybody $100
quickly.
Oh, it was great.
Well, what's kind of funny, Gary, it's like, I guess if you think back, that was kind of the beginning of the awakening of LSU in a lot of ways.
You're exactly right.
Like, that was the slumbering giant at that point. The late 90s have been really rough. Saban shows up. So, and then, who could forget the Peach Bowl later against Miami? Was that 05, Jake?
Yeah, 05, 2005.
When very famously, there was a bit of a scuffle, a kerfluffle.
Well, there was 2 beatdowns that day.
And we were talking about there. So what's the story? What can you tell us about the Miami
is Dwayne Bowe, who is from Louisiana, I take it?
Yeah.
Right?
He's from Miami.
He's from Miami.
He's from Miami.
He's from Miami. That's right. Wow. He's talking to the Miami DBs all day. He's talking trash.
Yeah.
And it's 40-3 or whatever it was.
And
it was a beatdown, right?
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, at the end of the game, Dwayne Bowe, right, he grabs the game ball and he starts running to the tunnel. And the Miami guys see him and they start running after him. Right, because he's talking trash the whole time. And so he runs past the Miami bench. All of a sudden, the Miami guys start running toward the tunnel. The LSU guys see this. They start running through the tunnel. I'm in the middle of the tunnel. And, with guys with their cleats and their shoulder pads on, I'm getting scrunched in the corner there.
So this was not. So they didn't even do. You hadn't even done your presentation or anything yet.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Like 3 seconds left on the clock. The clock hits. Bo picks up the ball, starts running, and chaos ensues. Well, at the end, at 3, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I go to the hospital because one of the kids got hit over the head with a helmet, had stitches, concussion. I go to the hospital. I come back, and I'm walking through the Marriott at probably like 4 a.m. now. And Donna Shalala is walking out of a room. She was the president of Miami.
Yeah.
She's walking out of the room. They fired Larry Coker that night.
No.
In Miami.
Gosh, I guess I don't even remember that.
Yeah, they fired Larry Coker that night.
No way.
Yeah. So, and then the story, going back to 2000, I was in my second year as president. And I get a call from Nick Saban. I never got a call from a coach to come to a bowl game.
Right.
Gary, we need to come to the Peach Bowl. It's the best bowl we can get to. I'm trying to grow a program down here. I think it was in his second year.
So already you're seeing, like, why the guy ends up being the best of all time.
Right.
That's
so
crazy,
I fly down to LSU. I meet with Chancellor Emmert, who was the chancellor at the time, Mark Emmert. I meet with Charlie Weems, who was chair of the board, and I meet with Nick. I didn't even meet with Joe Dean at LSU, who's the AD who I knew because I had worked at Converse.
Yeah.
Right? So I meet with them. I come back to my board, and I was in charge of picking the team because you select the teams at the time. And I said, we're going to take LSU. We already had Georgia Tech, who was ranked about 12th in the country. And,
that's weird to think about too.
And my board says, no, we're not. We don't want LSU. We had DiNardo in 96 against Clemson. He didn't sell any tickets. He didn't go to any luncheons. He was terrible.
Yeah.
And Clemson beat him. So I said, well, I'll put my job on the line.
No way.
It's my second year. I said, I met with the head coach. I met with the chancellor, and I met with the chairman of the board. They're going to do this. And so I called Nick after that, and I said, Nick, you got to do every luncheon.
You got to come through for me.
You got to come through. You got to promote the game. You got to sell tickets. So they said, okay, your job's on the line. I call Saban's home, and Terry answers. She says, please tell me coming to Atlanta. Please, we're coming to Atlanta. I said, pack your bags, sister. You're coming to Atlanta.
So even
Miss
Terry was so abreast of the
Miss
situation
Terry,
that
she was all over it.
Wow.
She was all over it.
Wow.
So they come. Mr. Shaw, you remember Mr. Shaw? I think it was Mr. Shaw.
Mr. Schillens?
There was a guy that owned like a company. Good guy, really good guy. I thought it was Mr. Shaw, but I'm probably wrong.
Be. So I was thinking Shaw Construction.
That
he bought 1,000 tickets.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
He bought 1,000 tickets, gave every one of his employees a yellow shirt, and said, you guys get your ass to Atlanta and support the Tigers.
Yeah.
And they sold 16,421 tickets. I still remember the number.
Dude.
The first day of ticket sales.
Yeah.
It's an all-time record. And so LSU came in droves.
You were feeling pretty validated. That first
They
day
saved
of
my
ticket
job.
sales. The first day of ticket sales. What are you saying to the board after the numbers come in? You're like, hey guys,
they came
I
through.
tried to tell you.
They came through.
I tried to tell you.
And
That's
so
crazy to think of Emmert and Saban.
They come in. Rohan Davey hits Josh Reed in the back of the end zone. They win the game. They beat Georgia Tech. I go back a month later on campus, as I always do, to do the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Right.
So we want to know, they're our clients. What do we do good? What do we do bad? What do we do ugly? I visit with Nick Saban. Nick says, Gary, everybody that signed with us that year watched that game from the Under Armour All-American game in Houston. Signed with us. We didn't lose one recruit.
How about that?
Wow.
That signed team was the team that won the national championship in 03.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
That's true.
fast forward to 2008, I start the kickoff game. I call Nick. He's at Alabama now. He's 7-6 his first year. Loses to Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah.
People forget that.
Oh, I know.
He's in his second year.
They don't forget. Hey,
in Louisiana,
those people right there don't forget that.
So, he's in his second year, and I said, hey, I'm starting this kickoff game. I got Clemson with Spiller. They're ranked top 10. I said, I'd love to have Alabama come over. He says, Gary, you took care of me.
Oh, wow.
I'll come play in the kickoff game.
What?
And they came in. They beat Clemson. They were borderline top 25.
Yeah.
They beat Clemson 34-10. On the cover of Sports Illustrated that week was Alabama's back. And if Nick were sitting there, he'd tell you that was the start of Alabama's dynasty, that game against Clemson in the kickoff game.
They ended up winning the Natty year two?
And then the year two, I had them against Virginia Tech in our kickoff game.
I remember that.
Virginia Tech's number 7, Alabama's number 5. They win that game, and they win the national championship.
If anything,
Florida won that year in 08.
Okay. If anything, they've just been too successful in the kickoff games. They just smash whoever they play over there, and then it's like,
Nick gets it. He knows you guys both played at the highest level. He knows that you got to get players' attention in the offseason.
Yep.
So, all players want to do is play against the best competition on the biggest stage. And so he says, hey, in the first game, we play big competition. Kids are going to get really excited in the summer workouts and camp. Number 2, they're going to be ready to play. Number 3, coaches will tell you they learn more about their team week 1 to week 2 because now they got live film. And if you play live film against tough competition, like maybe a guy that's going to be in the NFL or an all-conference player, you learn about yourself in that first week. and a coach can coach you up better in that second week.
I mean, BK talked about it yesterday. He didn't even know, like, half the team at media days last year. They didn't even know who the starting O-line was. After the Florida State game, everything changed. So, no, you're absolutely right, Gary.
That's a perfect example.
Talk about this a little bit because, everything's changed in college football. We know it's kind of tired at this point. But, like, the literal fabric, the foundation is shifting.
Yeah.
What's it been like ushering – the rise of the Peach Bowl, right? Getting into New Year 6, and now with a new expanded playoff, like, what's it been like having to kind of navigate these, very turbulent waters, but also never, unprecedented waters?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Taking a lot of work. We got the best staff in the bowl business that executes flawlessly. Great volunteers. Our city gets sports, so we get great corporate support, like Chick-fil-A, who's the longest title sponsor in bowl history.
I didn't know that.
But we had a vision. We said we want to make Atlanta the capital of college football. So we went and got the College Football Hall of Fame, moved it to Atlanta.
And it's beautiful.
Yep. Thank you. We started the kickoff game format where now you've got Ohio State playing Notre Dame in the first week.
Yeah.
Well, prior to that, when you guys played, you were probably playing, not to denigrate anybody, but directional schools.
We had LSU Oregon in my senior year. That was
so you played a big-time game.
One. It was in Jerry World. But all your points that you made, like, during the summer, we'd be working out. We'd be like, well, we can't let up. Like, we got in week
exactly.
one. Yeah.
But most games were non-directional schools. First couple of weeks, TV viewership was down.
Bad.
People weren't going to the stadium. We start this kickoff game, and all of a sudden, it changes the face of college football scheduling on the front side of the season.
It's true.
So we did that, and then we had to get into the CFP, and so we worked hard. We sold out 19 straight Peach Bowls, and just through relationships with John Swafford and Delaney and some of the commissioners, they gave us an opportunity, and we had a great facility in the Georgia Dome. Now I think we have the best facility in the country with Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So all those things came together, and now we're in the playoffs. So starting in 24, we'll open up our Aflac kickoff game, which are our new title sponsor, with Georgia, Clemson, blockbuster games. We'll have the SEC championship game. Then we'll have the first quarterfinal of the CFP playoff. And then we'll have the national championship game in January.
Yeah.
And then the next year in 25, we'll have two kickoff games with Syracuse, Tennessee, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, and then we'll host the semifinal of the CFP national championship. So
that's incredible.
It's going to be on a great run.
We just need you to cap Georgia ticket sales for the next SEC championship.
For next SEC championship game, you got to get their license.
Just cut them down a little bit. Cut them off at maybe like 20K or something. I don't know. Leave some for the rest of us. Gary, that's incredible, man. That's great work, and this was super fun. I wish we had longer. Go ahead.
Real quick. Game this year. Kind of lay it out for us.
Yeah, so this year we've got Georgia Tech, Louisville, so we got a conference game.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Which is great. And then at the end of the season, we'll have our Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl where we'll host two CFP teams given to us by the selection committee. So, and then the SEC championship game in December. So another three years in a row, we're going to have some top 10 teams probably in about 8 of the 10 games we have coming in. So it's going to be a great run.
I mean, 24 especially just sounds like a banger, and that is, I'm calling it the 2024 gene of college football. We literally reforged the fabric of this game. Gary, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, guys.
This was awesome.
Great to be with you, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate what you guys did.
Getting a little insight, dude, into the rise. Nick never left any stone unturned. Gary Sogan, Peach Bowl CEO and president. We're back with Benjamin Watson here on Off the Bench.
OTB, OT. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
is a taco more than just a taco when it's Government Taco? Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR live from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. The defending champs are here. Auburn with Hugh Freeze, Mississippi State, and Vandy. Join us from Radio Row, 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I saw the light, I've been baptized by the fire in your touch and the flame in your eyes. I'm born to love again, I'm a brand new man.
Live from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days presented by HUDCO Roofing. OTB, OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Yo, what's going on, yo? Welcome back to OTB. Right now, my pleasure to be joined by NFL great. A lot of you Saints fans remember his time in New Orleans. I actually remember being a very young media member and going and doing locker room stuff and talking to you back in the day. A man who just carries himself with a gravitas, leader of men. Ben Watson. Ben, what's up, bro? What's going on, man?
Man, you're making me feel old, bro.
No, I know.
He does
I
that to me
know.
all the time.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry.
But I appreciate who that to all the fans listening.
Hell yeah, dude.
I tell you what, me and my wife and family, we always reminisce about our time in New Orleans, and then she has ties to Louisiana.
Baton Rouge, right?
Yeah, grew up in Baton Rouge.
I saw that. I remember that.
Yeah, family there and everything. So it was really special for us to spend those 4 years in New Orleans for sure.
What was your kind of memory of putting on the black and gold? Kind of your overall memory that you take away from those times?
Man, first game I played there, we played the Falcons.
Yep.
Didn't realize how big of a rivalry it was, but I'll never forget. Even now, I live in Georgia now.
Yeah.
Went to Georgia. We live about 20 minutes from the airport in Atlanta, but football time comes, all the kids are like, boo, Falcons, and
so they're still holding it down. They're still holding it down for the black and gold?
They are. I mean, three of them were born in New Orleans. So, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. But I remember that first Falcons-Saints game, and it was our first time there, so we had all the family from Baton Rouge come.
Yeah.
The one time we did the whole big family thing, and we ended up winning at the very end of the game. And
it wasn't the Breeze spin, was it?
No. The Breeze spin was we won that game too.
Yeah, the Breeze spin.
Exactly.
Who could forget the spin?
But those games, those Falcons games, were the ones that I used to always love to get up for because I knew a lot of Georgia people were watching, as well as Saints people. But just great times. When we first moved to New Orleans, one more story. When we first moved to New Orleans, we get there and my wife tells me like, look, us Louisiana people, like she's Atlanta and Baton Rouge, but she's like. My Louisiana people, like, they're a little different. Like, they, And so I'm like, I don't know what that means. So we get there, and somebody knocks on the door, and I come to the door, and they got food. I'm like, okay, thank you. Am I supposed to eat this? I don't even know you. Like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you put in this food. The next day, somebody knocks on the door. More food. I'm like, how long is this going to last? For 3 or 4 days, people in the neighborhood were bringing us food to welcome us to the neighborhood. We've lived in 4 other places, and that never happened anywhere else.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, so it is a place that, like, grows on you, and you do feel like it's family. Even though it's business to football, you feel like it's a family atmosphere.
Who the kids root for, though? Because, like, of my 5, and we don't know who baby girl's going to root for yet. Like, they're all, like different teams. Like, 2 of my kids were born when I was playing for the Chargers, 1 for the Broncos, but they've all chosen different teams. We got Charger fans, Chiefs fans, Panther fans. I got all these. So what about your children? Like, teams you played for?
Yeah, teams I played for. We got, we had 3 kids when we were living in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So that's their hometown.
Okay.
We had 3 living in New Orleans, but 2 of them are so young they don't remember.
Right.
And one living in New England, our oldest. And so she kind of harkens with the Patriots, but she doesn't really remember that. Like the place that they all came to kind of remembering Daddy playing was either, in New Orleans or even in Baltimore over there. So I think most of them are kind of Saints. They're Saints and Cleveland people.
Yeah, I went through a bit of that because I was too young to remember my old man with the Saints. I remember the Falcons, but then he used to have every game on VHS, like all the Saints games. So I used to pop them in.
Really?
Like taking notes on stats.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so I kind of got a little bit of the Saints late 80s time.
But you don't remember actually watching them. You don't remember actually watching them?
Only with the Falcons I do, but not with the Saints.
Yeah.
Did he ever? Did y'all ever have any interesting interactions back in the day when he come interview y'all?
We did. We did. He's kind of like, oh, that's the legend. Like, I know who he is. The first time I saw him, I was like, oh, okay, I know who that is.
What about Georgia, man? I got to do a show with Aaron Murray all the time. All the Georgia guys walking around here, chest all out. Yesterday, somebody was yelling at me in the
Randy
lobby.
McMichael texting me all the time. Randy.
Oh, yeah.
3 for 23. Shockley's floating around here somewhere.
Just saw him. Yeah.
Good time to be a Bulldog, huh?
It's a fabulous time to be a Bulldog. It reminds me of my time when I was at Georgia and Saban was at LSU. Yeah. And all the guys I played with in the NFL were all on that team in 2004. We all got drafted together. Yeah. And they were just talking trash to us all the time. So it feels great. It's great to be. It's always great to be a dog, but it's especially great when your team is on the top of the college football scene.
Well, y'all had great teams. I mean, you played on great teams. They had great teams after you, but for whatever reason, everybody talked about it being 40 years since they won a national championship. But did you feel like we're close? If we could just get to that final step, we could be this because of who we have playing here.
But that's the difference between great programs and champions. Honestly, it's all just like one things.
Yeah.
I mean, even you look at the season last year and look at the Alabama team. They lose, a couple close games. They're in there. LSU wins a couple close games on a two-point conversion. They win a game, and that propels them.
Changes everything.
Exactly. So it's being close. It's a lot of people that are close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, we won an SEC championship while I was there, lost to a Florida team that we had no business losing to. That keeps us out of a national championship. And so I think you just realize, and you know this from playing college football and also playing in the NFL, that the margin of error is so small when you get to this elite level. But if you can overcome it, you'll be legendary.
Yeah.
Yes. Immortality awaits.
Yeah.
Right. So okay, but that's okay. So I love that because that's my question to you about Georgia is. You and Jake have better insight than most of us into like what it actually takes to win a championship. Winning 3 in a row is something that's never really been done before, and it comes at a time, new quarterback, new coach. Like, do you think? I mean, can Georgia find a way to somehow overcome that razor-thin margin of error again?
I think the way I've looked at it from a non-fan perspective, just from an analyst perspective, is what are the reasons that Georgia can't do it? And the best reason I can think of is because Minnesota in 1930-something or 40 was the last team to do it.
That didn't count.
Well, I'm saying that's the major reason. It's just the fact that nobody has done it. When I look at this team and I look at what they've brought back, you mentioned a new offensive coordinator, but he's been there. True. You know, it's not like it's a totally new person, a totally different philosophy. The quarterback position is humongous.
Yeah.
Because that position determines so much in the college game and the pro game, but it just determines so much. If you've got a guy who is confident, who is able, who can improvise like Stetson Bennett did, for everything everybody said about Stetson, he made plays, he didn't turn the ball over, he was smart with the football.
He was a dog when it mattered, too.
Exactly.
In the big ones.
He showed up in the big ones. If you got a guy that can do all those things, then that's it. But other than that, I'm looking at a Georgia team that defensively isn't going to miss a beat.
Right.
I'm looking at a Georgia team that
terrifying.
Offensively with the weapons that they have, if they can distribute it and keep everybody somewhat happy.
Kendall Milton is about to have an explosion onto the scene. He truly 7.1 yards a carry last year, and nobody talks about it.
Nobody talks about it.
It's crazy.
Because they got so many.
7.1 a carry?
And that's what happens when you've got so many weapons. A guy like Kendall gets overlooked.
He's about to have a monster season.
And there's going to be a great dedication to the run game.
Yep.
You know, I think that's what Georgia.
Take a little off. Carson Beck's played a little bit as you kind of.
Well, that's part of it. But what Georgia has done and what good teams on each level do, they understand they got to be physical.
Yeah.
First time when I got to New England, drafted in 2004, Bill Belichick says, I want to have a smart, tough, physical football team that performs well under pressure.
Yep.
Smart, tough, physical.
I mean, it makes it, sounds so simple.
Like you can't get away from that in football. I don't care how pretty you want to be, how much you want to throw the ball around, finesse different things. It's cute, may put up some points. At the end of the day, you're going to have to lean on people and beat them up. Yep. And that's what Georgia has been able to do.
That's right, boys. Still starts in the trenches, even in the fancy finesse age.
That's why some of those earlier teams didn't win a national title. They won a lot of games at the beginning, and they played Nebraska, and Nebraska was more physical than them.
Ooh, go Huskers. I can't wait. I'm a Matt Rule believer. Ben, thank you so much, man. This is awesome, man. Benjamin Watson, NFL legend, New Orleans Saint, Georgia Bulldog, one of the best analysts in the game. We got more OTB. Remember, Hudco Roofing bringing you live coverage of the 2023 SEC Football Media Days all the way through Thursday. Find highlights of week 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. All right, man, take it easy, bro. Our coverage also brought to you locally by Red Business and Relief Windows. Also remember Accutemp of Baton Rouge. If you want to take control of your comfort zone, AccutempBR.com is the website. Go look at the online reviews, y'all. People are obsessed with them for a reason, and it's because service to the highest degree is not just lip service. They mean it. More OTB closing out the show next.
OTB, OT.
Sir Toyota Baton Rouge, also Toyota of BatonRouge.com. The read so nice, we do it twice. Look, man, if you want to buy a new vehicle used, you want to lease, you got to do your research, right? So I would just say, like, if you would be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't at least go in off of Airline Highway and see what All-Star Toyota could offer you. Maybe test drive the Sienna a little bit, the Tundra. These things are going to blow your mind. Maybe you want a little smaller truck in the Tacoma for work. I don't know, but Toyota means quality, and also Toyota Baton Rouge especially means customer service. AllStarToyotaBatonRouge.com.
Yeah, when you go to the website, remember you can customize your vehicle. So if you want to go to that new vehicle and you want it just the way that you want it, remember, it is what you want. There's things you can take away. There's things that you can add to get the price just right and get the look just right. Now you can go into the dealership as well off Airline Highway and do the same thing. However you want to do it, they can make it happen over at All-Star. Go to the website today. Check out those rentals as well. AllStarToyotaBatonRouge.com.
Our coverage this week is also brought to you by Rev Business and Relief Windows. More from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days is coming up next on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hello, Samantha, dear, I hope you're feeling fine. And it won't be long until I'm with you all the time. But until then, I spend my money up right down on my last dime.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Hey there, little buddy. What's the matter?
What's the matter? My windows, siding, and my door. That's what's the matter.
Relief Windows can fix all of that. I got you. Pop, pop. What's up?
Oh my gosh, look!
Curb appeal. That's a good-looking neighborhood. ReliefWindows.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
Join me for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. We're talking SEC football, Vanderbilt, Georgia, Auburn, Mississippi State. 1 to 3 weekdays, Hunt Palmer Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live from the 2023 SEC Football Media Days presented by Hudco Roofing. OTB, OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Can you help me, Creole? Got a little girl waiting on me and I wanna treat her right.
What's up, y'all? Hudco Roofing bringing live coverage of 2020 of the SC Football Media Days all the way through Thursday. Find the highlights all on 104.5 ESPN's YouTube channel. You're watching there right now. You're in the chat. Our coverage also brought to you locally by Rev Business, Relief Windows. Shout out Rev Business and Relief Windows, as well as Hudco for allowing us to come up here. It's been a very fun show today. Ask the bench, does OTB discuss the Nair video yet? No, I don't know what that is. Is that like Nair, like the old hair removal Nair?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Potentially. I'm not sure. Do remind you to go to Rejuve Me Medical, RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. Look, all your anti-aging needs. Do some upkeep on your body, man. Same way you do your home, your car, your computer, anything. Like, you know, give your body the best chance to be its best self. With Rejuve, maybe it's HRT, metabolization optimization, maybe it's a Botox. They do it all, and they're now in Baton Rouge, Metairie, Slidell, and 3-1 Great, Shreveport. RejuveMeMedical.com. Ask the bench. Is Hunt Palmer sending D pics to Jacob? I doubt it, but
what?
I guess I haven't seen Jake's phone. Ask the bench, how turned did you get last night?
Of all people, though, Hunt?
Yeah, I know. But it's always, you know.
Maybe T-Bob.
It's always the ones you least expect. It's always the ones you least expect. Not always.
I mean, if it's too much the other way, though, I mean.
No, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. What's the over-under? T-Bob, we hung over one morning in Nashville. We're doing great so far, but tonight I think we're going to go out. So.
Ooh, and it sounds like I'm out on that.
Yeah, we'll see. Ask the bench. Will T-Bob be on time for the final show of the week? Yes, I've been on time for every show ever. Never been late. Well, that's not entirely true. I have been late before, but that was
just
like
one
years
time.
ago. Yeah, just one time.
Yeah.
How turned did you get last night? We had a nice dinner, dude. Just love some, drank a lot of wine. Great food. I mean, where was that? Hall's? They deserve a shout out. It was Hall's.
You
right?
really
Hall's
liked John.
Jay.
Jay. God, it was
wow.
a J name.
Yeah, look at this. We had like maybe the best server in the world, and you called this man John. Unbelievable. That's what happens.
This is a J name, though.
That's what happens. You NFL guys, you elitists. I get you, dude. Y'all are used to being in those rooms. I was just very excited, man. Yeah, but Jay was a dog. He was a beast.
My apologies to Jay.
I'll tell you what was beast. That corn. I'm still mad I didn't get the corn to go, but I thought maybe I'd be like,
Well, you are a corn cob
That's
believer.
what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. It even works with my corn hub stuff.
1 minute.
Ask the bench. What's been the highlight of Broadway so far? So we have been out on Broadway. I will say this. People are not lying about music being everywhere. I was in a boutique yesterday, like where they sell like nice hats and nice boots, and there was an old man just singing to no one, and it was like one of the best voices I've ever heard. It is every single shop has a just a wonderful musician.
That's why karaoke in this town is a bad idea.
Ask the bench, do you put your hand on the wall when peeing at a urinal?
No.
30.
In the morning, I will put my hand on the wall when I pee.
Really?
Yeah, like, you lean over like,
yeah, I know.
when I'm tired.
Yeah.
I also sit down sometimes in the morning. Bilbo says, Rivers stay slaying. Good job, Rivs. Actually, great on-site production from Rivs. Great production as well from Mario and Taylor back home. So
not only helped us, helped Jock stay on there as well.
Yeah, well, some morning shows can't keep it up, but OTB can. Okay, and that's partially thanks for Drew Me. Also,
OTB,
shout out Hudco Rev Business Relief Windows. We'll be back with day 3 tomorrow. Scone coming up this afternoon. Take it easy.
OTB, OT.
Give me a Mario. Feed me, baby. Feed me, Mario.
Patient Plus.
Patient Plus Urgent Care. PatientPlusUC.com, where you will see the difference. You're feeling bad. You want to get in, get better. Walk-ins always welcome. Look, the facilities are incredible, y'all. Like, the facilities are going to blow you away. You're going to be there like, wow, I did not know urgent cares could be this nice. And that investment, you reap the benefits of that investment because you get the best treatment with the best technology.
30.
And best nurses and doctors, man. So what do you wait? Oh, remember, all your occupational medicine needs as well. Patient Plus Urgent Care.
Once you go to one, you're going to know exactly what T-Bob's talking about. But it's not just one location. It's all the locations. You're going to find a convenient location in the Baton Rouge area. It's going to be an easy process.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's that time again. It's heating up. Your boat's getting ready to come out and spend all summer on the water. It's time to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service, where if you want an incredible custom speaker install, it's going to blow people away in the water, that's there for you. You want an HD sonar where you can see the fish under the water before you cast, beat all your friends,
that's there for you at Front to Back Boat Service. So don't put it off. We got the parts in right now. Get him now before they go back up